Welcome back. Yes, you are live with Expresso on a beautiful Wednesday morning. We promised you a focus on the kids. Now we're going to really hone in with some parenting gems right now. And this is something that I'm going to admit I obsess about, actually. Now, some argue that talent is not born, it is made. How do you feel about that? Do you agree? And if not, well, what's the best way parents can help bring out the best in our children? Registered counsellor and good friend Shanaz Moors now joins us to give us some insights. I always feel sorry for your kids when I talk to you because I know you've put them through the most, okay?
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. I think about it a lot, especially with my son, as his talents start to reveal themselves in certain areas, especially sport, obviously. That's going to be a big thing that parents focus on. Is my child going to be the next Tiger Woods? Is talent made or born? How do you feel in your experience?
You know, there is an ability that everyone has, an aptitude for something, but that's not the same as talent, because talent is acquired. The discipline of practice. So now my kids are going to come in. Both boys have guitars at some point in their childhood. Neither of them can play.
Whose fault is that? Because you're musically untalented.
It's not my fault. I did my part. I did my part.
You've done everything you can to foster a musical love, okay? Yeah. I get that. I understand that. And I suppose because you see people around you take to things so naturally. But I've never thought about it from that perspective of, you know, a talent is nothing unless it's realized, unless you take it to its conclusion or take it to that phase where you can truly activate it. So that then being said, what are the conditions for success? How do we foster that talent within our children?
The first one, we have to pay attention to see what they're drawn to. Not everyone, even though the child thinks they can do something, they often are drawn to other things. But they also want to please us, so that's the other thing, you know, ballet and all these things, and your child wants to play soccer. So it's about, some kids draw on the walls, like literally paint everywhere.
So is that essential to have that love of that enjoyment? Because I can't escape the model. So we've got King Richard out now at the moment, Will Smith playing the role of Venus and Serena Williams' father. He was obsessed about their success and made it his full-time job. From the age of 5, he was a professional coach, pretty much. He taught himself everything about tennis to foster that talent. Is that the degree of interest and an obsession a parent needs to have to get the best, to take it to that next level? Or do we leave them to their own devices? How do we best play that role to foster and bring out those talents?
Yeah, once we identify the talent, which the child's going to show you what it is, you expose them to a variety of things and see what clicks, right? Then you provide the tools. Okay, so you want to be a drummer, you want to be an artist, you want to be... Then you do the next step. Okay, let's get lessons. So I did my job. I did send for lessons. But the passion must come from the child. If I'm so invested in... I'm picturing you, the next Adam Levine, I'm like so going to be pushing you because I want to go on tour with you. So it's all my ego that's pushing the agenda. When we push children too far, they lose the enjoyment part and the fun aspect. And it's no longer a talent, it's just work. It's just hard work.
And that's what it requires often to be successful. So is that key, that the child must have that enjoyment factor for them to fully activate and embrace that? Or is it a case of you creating a construct around them to make sure that they stay within their lane and grow and build? How much of an importance is placed on the enjoyment factor when it comes to bringing the best out in your child? Is it more about the work ethic? Is it?
It's a combination.
I keep thinking about myself in that space, and you only get to enjoy the rewards after the hard work.
Yeah, I think that it's a combination because practice is part of everything, irrespective of whether you're learning acting, painting, singing, an instrument, a sport, all have the same prerequisite. Number one, practice, hours and hours. So people often see the final product, man, all polished up, all, you know, and they don't understand that this person does 5 hours a day in preparation, building up to a 1-hour concert. So that's the part that's behind the scenes that often we don't know, which is where we come in to, you know, to build that work ethic in the child. We do play a bit of a role.
What do you tell yourself when you want to get too involved, when you want to push too hard as a parent, when you're starting to, because I'm worried I'm going to be that guy on the side. And it's not that I'm competitive, but I'm just really loud and in your face. And I can see my poor son cringing on a rugby or football field with his dad on the sideline. Get the ref off the field. What do you say to yourself to stop over-parenting?
I mean, you know what? If I wasn't a conscious parent, it would be a challenge, because that need for our children to be successful is a real driver, and it trumps relationship. It goes above. How you make me look. Part of your responsibility set as well. How you make me look as a parent is everything. So I don't care if I have to crush you, humiliate you, embarrass you, as long as I can tick that box. So for me, that's always this thing, that relationship trumps everything else.
I love that. Create the relationship that will allow your child to enjoy, but also feed off your example. Really interesting topic. You can weigh in as well. Let us know online. Are talents born, or are they made? I think it's somewhere in the middle, but we're going to find out and continue to explore after this.
All right, so let's flex our kitchen culinary talents this morning. We know that children, they really are the stars of today's show, but what about parents who make mealtime simple? Those really are the real superstars, let's be honest. And this next recipe is one for the books. You are going to want to make sure that you are part of this.
There is a classic mayonnaise that brings out the traditional French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy, the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover.
Yep, one for the books, indeed, and it can sometimes be a challenge, you know, to make simple staple taste good in a flesh. Some parents do find it hard, but our Parmesan chicken tenders with a classic mayo buffalo dip do just that. They do just the trick. It really is a recipe for the books, and this makes for a quick and delicious midweek meal, and you only need a few ingredients, which for me already is a win. Here to show us how it's done is my favorite, Jennifer Morris, otherwise known as Jenny from the block.
You're too cute for words, you.
Jenny, what a blouse.
Do you like it? I'm saying, winter, don't come near me, baby.
You know, you're just going, step aside.
I'm going forward.
I love it. Okay, cool. So this is really good, because when you said quick and easy to do, when you said that nutritious, in a flash, all of that, I said, say less, I want to be part of it.
Do you want to be part of it?
I want to be part of it.
So I'm using breast. Breast meat is actually very, very nice. It's very lean.
Yeah.
In fact, this whole dish is so beautifully lean and healthy.
Yeah.
And it's easy peasy. You can also use thighs, though, if you wanted to.
Oh, okay. All right.
You can decide to use that as well.
All right. So why is that? Is that because we're looking just for the lean? So the most lean part of the chicken, that's what we want?
Well, not necessarily, but a lot of people say, oh, my gosh, it's got crumbs on it.
Yeah.
But this is all beautiful, dry fry, easy peasy stuff.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So I'm going to just put salt and pepper.
Okay. Into what?
This is into a little bit of flour, because without the flour,
you'll get
the butter's, exactly, the butter's not going to stick.
Yeah.
Would you like to dip?
I always want standby for a good
into a little bit of flour.
Oh, yes,
and you're going to make, and you're also going to make the sauce for me. And then we have this beautiful, delicious crumb with some garlic powder.
Oh, garlic powder. We spoke about this the other day.
Yes.
Garlic powder, onion powder, all of those that have started to take huge popularity at the moment. I love that.
Very Cajun. I could do with a bit of Cajun blues, actually, while we do this. And then some panko crumbs.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese, which will also, it'll give it an extra crunch. It's like this extra layer.
Nice richness, no?
Yes. Okay, you put it on here, Matuti.
Oh, is that where you want it?
I put it on there, and then I'm going to take it from there. And then, of course, I've given you lots of work to do, because I know you want to pop one of these little tender breast morsels into your mouth.
I really do, but I have to earn it, right?
Yes, you're going to make the sauce.
As well.
Yeah.
Jenny, what are you even doing in the kitchen today? It seems like
I'm doing
this entire recipe by myself.
No, I'm proving that you're so capable.
This is a true test of talent.
Absolutely.
Now, here's the beauty of this, and you will see when we really do bring our Clover classic mayo, is that you will find that you can actually use any of the classic mayo varieties that are available. And we know that they are available in 3 levels of tanginess. We've got the mild 1, medium 2, as well as strong 3. And for this particular recipe, we're going to be using 1 for its mild and creamy taste. So that's going to be coming through here, and you will see how all of that magic comes together. So the hot sauce, that's what I'm doing now.
Yes, this is hot. So obviously you're going to have some Cajun spice. That's
Is this
hot
Cajun
sauce.
spice?
No, that's hot sauce.
So what am I doing?
Here, darling, you're going to put all of that. Some
Okay.
more garlic powder.
Okay.
And of course, our delicious. I'm going to open. I'm going to go right across you
There we
like
go.
this.
There we go. Now
And
this is
open number one.
number one. Okay, there we go.
Love it.
Okay, well, that's a talent.
Yes.
What you've just done now.
So don't.
A lot of
don't mess
people
with me.
don't know how to how to open a thing of mayo like that from scratch. And I do take it back when I said, "What are you even doing in the kitchen this morning?" Clearly, I would have gotten absolutely nowhere without you.
Right.
Cool. Okay,
Some more. So we've got 2 levels of heat there. I mean, it's going to be very interesting and very delicious. And give it a stir. But before you stir it, darling, I want you to take that lime. Take the lime and hurt it. I really want you to squeeze
Okay, 'cause you
every
want
last...
every
It wants
drop.
every drop, sweetheart.
Why are we adding lime into this?
Oh, it's going to
that's
give it
interesting.
depth and a little bit of tang.
Oh,
You know, a little
okay.
bit of acidity, actually.
So you're getting that tangy one that
Yes,
you are getting
yes.
from the Clover Classic mayonnaise.
Yes.
Imagine when you combine it with that.
Absolutely.
It is a symphony in your mouth.
Absolutely. A party going on
A party
in the mouth.
in your mouth, queen. That's what I'm talking about. Now, what most people don't know is that Jenny and I, on days that Jenny is on the show, actually ride together. So you must
you do.
understand that I really have become somewhat of a culinary something.
But you always have been, actually.
You know, you
It's
just
not
really
because
are
we
bringing it
ride
out.
together.
In me, we speak food
Yes.
the entire time on our way here.
lovely.
I love that. Okay, so what are we doing there?
So over here, I'm just doing a little bit more of this. I want to bring you... I just want to wash my hands because I'm touching raw chicken. And what I'm going to offer you a little one off the plate. Look at that now. That's looking absolutely exquisite.
But it smells so
smells
good.
divine.
The spices, I'm smelling all of those spices coming through, but the heat factor, it's coming through.
Darling,
It's
you're going to schwitz. Take one of these and give it a dip.
Ooh, okay, now you see
You can
that.
dip because no one else
Without a
is
doubt,
all
is
for
the
you.
moment that I have been waiting for. Okay, I'll tell you how this has come out.
Happy mouth, happy boy. Are you happy? So happy,
Tangy,
happy.
so good. It'll make a dance in your mouth. I love that, Jenny. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
You know what? We want you to really recreate this experience at your house. Go on to expressoshow.com. The recipe is there, but what you're going to find, it's going to make it really, really easy for you, is the fact that all the steps and ingredients are included. But if you missed any of the steps that Jenny and I sort of went through to create this, watch this. Thanks, Jenny from the blog.
It's your baby boy.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
welcome back. Yes, we are back with Shanaz, and I think you can see the smoke coming out of my ears as I try to disseminate, try to understand this one. We're talking about talent this morning, and we're talking about the different ways that we can bring out the best in our children. Of course, we are sitting down with our registered counsellor and good friend of the show, Shanaz Moos. Let me put the scenario to you, because I can see where your conscience parenting beautiful heart is leading you. But I'm gonna put my hand up for the King Richards out there and say, life is good when you're a multi-millionaire, top sportsman, top chess player, top whatever coder. Life is good when you achieve success, and especially if you've done it early on. Imagine being able to, at age 25, be able to do these amazing things because you have wealth and you're well known. Isn't it cool to have that route to success? When do we say the parent is doing too much and we should leave it over to the child? And when is it a good thing to become a little obsessive as a parent and say, okay, well, you've got that talent. You're doing yourself an injustice if you're not acting on that. Where do we draw the line?
Sure. I think that, you know, we as parents are afraid to trust others with our kids, which is why we want to be in charge.
For sure.
But the line between boss and parent, or manager and parent, can be blurred very easily when you see the cha-ching roll in. When you see those zeros adding up, you become excited, especially if your child's a minor and you're in charge of their money. But I'm saying, at the end of the day, I repeat what I said about relationship.
Relationship.
You have to focus, and when you notice the child has lost their passion or is too afraid to do what they love for fear of rejection, because when the money gets involved, the fear increases that you won't be able to get work or that you won't be picked or whatever, versus I love what I do, and whether I get picked or not, I'm just going to do it.
So then, I mean, children are, let's be honest, a little bit flaky and they have short attention spans. And often it's going to require, to achieve those goals, a sustained effort, which means the parent's got to be all in. How much of that gets driven by the child? Does the passion of the child drive the process, or does the passion of the parent for the child drive the process?
I think that when the child picks the talent or the sport or whatever, that first part must come from them. But they don't have the tools yet to persevere. So that's where you come in, help them build grit and resilience and a practice routine that is not unrealistic.
Is that taught or is it modeled? Do they take those gems from watching you do the same thing and get up and hit the grind every day? Or is it something that you instill? Because what do you say? What words do you use, and how do you instill that grit and that work ethic?
I think that, you know, you have to actually walk the talk. So you can't teach something you yourself don't actually do or practice in real life, because that's the bigger lesson for a child is observing you more than what you're saying. So you build a pattern or a timeline that works for both of you, and always be connected to when it's too much or to cut back or those kinds. So you have to be aware that, okay, this is an overload for my child.
Is that responsibility on your shoulders? Do you have that conversation with your child to say, you know, do you check in daily to see how they're doing, if they're overwhelmed? How do you gauge what your child can handle in that space?
Yeah, obviously you need to be able to see what is too much and knowing what they can do. And because a lot of these kids who have these massive talents and sporting careers, school isn't done in a normal way. They get homeschooled or they have tutors on the road with them or whatever.
Changed,
yeah, so the thing with that is that you know when things are hectic for your child academic-wise, to cut back on the other activities, you know, that you are in charge of. And then when it's holiday time, pick it up again and up it a notch, or that kind of thing. Finding a balance for the child is your role as the parent.
All right, I absolutely love that. But once again, I'm going to reiterate, because you've done that a few times and I get that. It's all about the relationship. Have those open lines of communication so you can read your child. They have the confidence to speak to you when they need to in that space. And then good luck to those parents who have children who are nothing like them and they haven't even begun to discover the talents yet. It's going to be an amazing journey. But whether you think your child is talented or not, you can foster their love and passion for everything that they do, and maybe that's a good place to start.
Well, we are still focusing on the children, but more of the babies this morning. Now, mealtime for babies becomes really a bonding experience with the parents. Now, when they reach that milestone of being able to taste flavors for the very first time, seeing the joy on their faces is one of our proudest and our most priceless moments. Now, pediatric dietitian Kath McGaw is here to give us tips and tricks on introducing solids to our little ones. And Kath, good morning. Morning. Always so good to have you with us. G and I were saying you really are the baby whisperer, so anything you say, we literally listen, because introducing babies to solids can be a very overwhelming process for the parents. They don't know where to start. When is it too early? Is it too late? So let's start in, when is it a safe time to introduce solids to our kids? Is there something as starting too early?
Absolutely. So I think definitely before the age of 4 months, you don't want to introduce any complementary foods other than milk to your baby. The World Health Organization recommends 6 months, and that's particularly in developing countries where there's not access to very good complementary foods. Other world organizations recommend between 4 and 6 months. So as close to around 6 months, 5.5, 6 months, you can definitely start to go on a very exciting food journey.
What happens if you don't take your advice and you start off too early and you start with, with like hectic foods or hard foods that are not soft or suitable for baby's body?
So the big concern is obviously allergy risk. So the baby's digestive system hasn't developed fully yet. So that's why you want to delay it and just give exclusive breast milk, or if you can't do breast milk, then you do some formula feeding for the first few months, and then you can start with some gentle, soft, lovely solids closer to 6 months.
And it's always so exciting to see them just figure out all the flavors. I remember we did the lemon test or the lime test, and you put it on the thing and they just crunch up their face. But why do we start with soft foods as opposed to starting with anything like broccoli or maybe more textured foods?
Well, in the beginning, remember, all they've had is a liquid diet. So the food needs to be very soft and pureed because they're used to swallowing liquid. So you want to make it a bit thicker, but quite smooth in the beginning so that it's gentle and that it's easy to digest. So by pureeing, you actually already pre-digesting a lot of the food, and that's why starting with smooth foods are great.
And here's the thing, you compare your palate to your little baby. So for instance, I hate pears. I never want to introduce pears to Luca because I thought, no, he's not going to love it because I don't love it, but that's not the case. They have nothing to refer to. So what flavors would you recommend introducing to them first?
So 100%, babies' taste buds aren't developed like our taste buds, and all they've been used to is milk. So anything other than milk is going to taste going to have a taste to it. So lovely foods like apple, you mentioned pears, butternut puree, carrot puree, all of those are absolutely wonderful to introduce to them. Sweet potato puree is also lovely and also quite filling, which is nice.
Definitely, because this is the time where they're weaning off from the milk a little bit and they need it to get full so they can sleep longer. But then when it comes to allergies, and we spoke about it, what is the common allergy? Again, for me, for instance, I was allergic, or I am allergic to pawpaw and kiwi. So those are fruits that I would maybe shy away from for Luca. But how do we know that they are also allergic to these fruits and foods?
So that's quite an uncommon allergy, and especially in babies. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist, and in your case, you obviously experienced it. But for parents, even if you are allergic to certain foods, those foods are actually very important to introduce to your child, especially if the mom is allergic to them, because the child wouldn't have been exposed to those foods. So you wouldn't want to shy away from them. You would actually want to introduce them. But your allergen food, your most common food allergy is your cow's milk protein allergy. So in the beginning, in the starter foods and that, you're going to find that you want to avoid dairy initially, and then you're going to, from about 6 months onwards, you can start introducing all the allergens. So whether it's your chicken, whether it's your beef, whether it's your lamb. Lamb is a wonderful protein to introduce mixed into some veggies. Egg protein is really good to introduce around that age. And your nut proteins in the form of like peanut butter, and that is also lovely to add to. So for example, you could have butternut puree and you can mix a bit of peanut butter in with it, just to boost it, add flavor, add calories, and that's so nice.
And again, when baby's tummy is full, they are happier, they sleep longer, they're just in such a good space. But it all comes with, because motherhood is so crazy, you're trying to juggle everything. So I'm sure mealtime prep is so important when it comes to introducing solids to your little one.
Absolutely. So it's important to plan ahead, remembering in the beginning that they start with very small little amounts and they're just learning to eat. So whether you buy a more convenienced form of food because they do eat so little in the beginning and you don't maybe want to cook up a whole lot, or whether you cook up yourself, whatever you choose to do, you can always freeze it in little ice cubes and then it's ready and on hand when you are ready to feed your baby.
What did I tell him, Zanzi? She really is the baby whisperer. Capigal, as always, so good to have you with us. Thank you so much for making this step a bit more easier for those parents that's going through the weaning process or introducing solids to their little one. Now, of course, there you have it, everybody. Convenient meal solutions in a variety of flavors and textures, perfectly tailored for each developmental stage, so parents can enjoy time with their little ones. Now, Purity is there for you every meal, every snack, and every step. Now, listen up, because one lucky viewer stands a chance to win an age-appropriate Purity meal hamper up to the value of 400 Rand. Now, all you have to do is simply reply on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter competition post and tell us what is your go-to Purity jar flavor for your baby. Don't forget to include that hashtag, It All Begins With Purity, in your answer. And remember, the competition closes this Friday, the 4th of March at midday, and those T's and C's can be found on our website, expressoshow.com.
I hope you'll always know how much I love you. I hope that you never stop learning and growing, that you'll be brave and joyful and kind, and that one day when you look at me and I look at you, we'll love the wonderful you that you've become. It all begins with Purity.
What's beta-glucan? Hello, do you know what beta-glucan is? What is beta-glucan? No one knows what beta-glucan is.
Beta-glucan is a natural fiber in jumbo oats that helps lower cholesterol and keep hearts well.
Jungle, do life with heart.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Mzansi, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, opening up on all the good things, and we've got something special for you this morning. We're shining the light on an absolute young talent that has taken social media by storm with his amazing rendition of Adele's Easy on Me, which has also previously been performed right here on the show. Now, he goes by the name of Sade. Despite his age and that being only 12 years old, he has an absolutely powerful voice and all the confidence on the stage to go with it. Now, this confidence and voice has been seen, and it's getting hundreds and thousands of views on social media. And if you don't know anything about what I'm talking about right now, then take a look at this incredible kid and what he's capable of. Yes, Mzansi, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause and a welcome to the couch for Sade in the building! Yeah! You know why we're clapping like that? Because you're already a superstar, man. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm so good to have you, man. I obviously had the pleasure of listening to you earlier in the week. You blew everybody's mind. Obviously, Andrew as well, thank you for joining us. Obviously, the father of this incredible talent. But Sade, you did. You blew us away when you came to the stage, when you came into the studio and you performed. It was absolutely incredible. Look at my arm, man. That's real goosebumps right there. Just thinking about it. That's the effect you have on people, bro. But tell me, your singing, is it something that, like, you just discovered in the shower? Was it like, I don't know if I can sing? Or did you always know, this is something I want to do? I'm a singer.
No, I noticed in church
Okay.
that I was singing, and my father did me sing in school by all the events, and I noticed it.
Did you notice it because you saw the people smiling when you were singing?
Yeah.
Because honestly, man, whenever you just speak, whenever you sing in the studio as well, everybody lights up. You have an incredible effect on people, and that's coming from your voice and your talent, man. So don't stop nurturing that. But, I mean, obviously with singers, with young kids, I mean, you're only 12 years old. There's people that you're obviously inspired by and look up to, right? I mean, when I was a kid, I had sportsmen and athletes that I wanted to become. Is there anyone like that that you kind of look up to? Anyone that's like really stood out for you as a performer and you're like, I want to sing like that person?
Yeah, that would be Adele.
Okay.
Justin Bieber.
Okay.
Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Locally, Robin Peters.
Of course, yeah.
Emo Adams.
Okay.
Early B. And Youngster.
Nice, man. I know what. I love the fact that you're using some names that almost to me sound like some of your archetype, which is, they got a bit of your feel. So when you sing, I can see a little bit of those people inside of you, especially when you performed Adele. It was absolutely incredible. I know it's a hard question to ask, though. I mean, 12 years old, you got the entire world at your doorstep. Is this something that you want to do like full time? Do you think you want to make a career out of this, or you think, nah, I'll just sing on the side. I still want to be a doctor, or I still want to be like a gamer? What are you feeling? I know you're young, and you can change the answer, but right now, what's your passion telling you? You want to be a singer?
Yes, after school, I want to make a career out of this. And I want to inspire people like international artists do.
Man, you're already inspiring. You're inspiring me. I think the rest of the studio can agree with you now, and I'm sure we're going to see some more of you. Of course, seeing you entertaining us on the studio. But Andrew, maybe I can ask you this question. Being the father of this incredible talent, when did you realize, man, this is more than just a kid singing in the shower with a good voice? This is like a career option. This is potential. I need to nurture this. I need to make a plan now. This guy's got something here, right?
As Sade said, like in church, I am a Sunday school teacher. And I'm the choir master as well at the Sunday school. So I've noticed Sade singing like in Sunday school. And I started giving him solos to sing in Sunday school. So when we had a function at church, like a choral function, we normally used Sade to do the solos for the Sunday school choir.
Yeah.
And basically it started from there, it evolved, and it went to school. The great art teacher, Mrs. Adams there at Arista Primary, she actually also noticed Sade singing. You know, they sing that Fishing for Jesus and all
yes,
yes. At school. So she also noticed him singing, and it evolved from there.
Ah, man, it's incredible. So what's the plan, obviously? I mean, obviously, you've got to nurture this talent. You've got to get it to the top. Clearly, it's already going there. For you, you kind of just got to steer it in the right direction. Is it a tough job for you?
I wouldn't say it's a tough job. You know, everything just comes on our path now at the moment. Like with the help of Robin Peters and you know, any opportunity that presents itself now at the moment, we open for that. As long as Sade gets the proper exposure that he needs at the moment, we up for it.
We're up for it indeed. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for bringing him through to the studio. And Sade, I'm so excited, man. I'm so glad I got a chance to chat to you. You blew us away on day one, and now the stage is all yours. So we're going to get some performances from you later. You ready for that? You excited?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the name Sade Phyllis in the building. He's going to be performing for us and entertaining us and revealing all the talent that he has for us, Mzansi. And we're absolutely not going to want to go anywhere when he does that. But for now, let's get puckering up. Let's get the bellies full and prepare for the magic. Let's head to the kitchen.
So you know those bland veggies that need a little something to make them extra delicious? Or that boring salad you're trying to make a little bit more interesting? Well, our Bliss chili yogurt sauce is coming to the rescue. You can use it as a condiment, throw it in some maybe some nachos or have it on its own as a meal. It's blissful and it's plainly amazing. Someone who is blissful and definitely not plain, but she is amazing. Jenny Morris is going to show us how it's done. This has got a little bit of zing, it's got a little bit of pop, it's got a little bit of everything. I love this.
This is going to, well, depending on how much chili you want to add to this.
How much heat you're going to add. It's okay. I like it. I love my heat. I react terribly. I like sweat from every pore, but I love heat. I just enjoy it.
I like heat too, but I must just be, you know, I don't want to sort of walk around with fire extinguisher on my mouth.
Like a sweat towel over your shoulder. Okay.
So what I'm doing, Graham, is I'm heating this oil. The idea here is not to cook these, but to do an infusion.
Okay.
So you can do this up front. I've got some beautiful garlic, and I'm very glad I'm not cooking these chili flakes, because we'd be coughing and spluttering it just from the fumes.
It's a very acrid smoke.
Unbelievable. And then some lovely spring onion greens, which I absolutely adore. I don't know why people throw the green parts away. I've often seen people just chopping like it. I'm thinking, no.
Use the whole plant.
Use the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And that gorgeous, gorgeous coriander. And then what you're going to do is you're going to chop up those walnuts for me. Okay. Walnuts are gorgeous, and you could even toast them before you use them.
Ooh.
Macadamia could be used if you can't get that pecan nut. Almonds even delicious with it. Pine nuts if you're feeling like really rich. You know, you could do a medley.
A walnut's got a lovely kind of...
it's nice and they're oily and
I know it sounds silly. It's got a beautiful nuttiness because it is a nut, but it does. It has a beautiful flavour profile, I think.
Have a look at this, my love. This is really nice and hot. Can you hear that sizzle?
The oil to the fresh ingredients, not the other way around.
Yes.
Okay.
So now I'm just going to let this infuse, and then we're going to take our delicious, our blissful bliss, and we're going to... Have you got a plate for me?
I do.
Good. Because I'm going to just pop this onto a plate. I don't know whether I want to share this with anybody this morning. I feel rather greedy.
No, you know the rule on this set is that the crew must be fed, okay?
Well, they can have something else today.
They can have chicken strips.
Chicken strips, yes, indeed.
Well, I think our chicken strips are probably going to get dipped into this as well, so...
This, oh, my goodness. That's like a match made in heaven.
Okay, how is that?
That is absolutely glorious and divine. Now, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a few nuts on top. Okay. I'm going to layer.
Ooh.
You can be a little bit more generous than that, my boy. You can be heavy-handed, okay?
How's that?
That's good.
Yeah, there we go.
And then I'm going to do this. Just look at that. And then you're going to give me just a little bit more of that gorgeous nuttiness over the top. And then I've got some nachos.
Oh,
one for
so
you.
while my poor mouth prepares for the flavour explosion that's coming its way, I think it's worth noting here that our Clover Bliss double cream plain yogurt that we're using in this recipe, it is guaranteed to give obviously the delicious flavours thanks to the beautiful creamy ingredients, and it's not only perfect for snacking in between, you can also use it in dishes like this, and it carries those flavours and those spices with a touch of creaminess. I think the key word here is infusion. Everything is infused. Oh, where do I
You can
begin?
do that, do it, and then what I'm going to do while you just take a bit of the topping, I'm going to actually stir this in a bit. Just look at that. Does that not say eat me immediately? Yeah, isn't that divine? And just a little bit more of this over the top. I would love this on a steak or a baked potato. Bliss, darling, bliss.
I was just about to say that this on a steak would be amazing.
Yes. Did you hear me whistle? My mother would have smacked me. 'Cause I'm a girl that can whistle.
I can't whistle. And that's why we get on so well. You're the whistler in the relationship. My brain and my mouth and my taste buds are still trying to wrap themselves around this flavor profile.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
And what I love about it, it's the balance, that you've got this punch of flavor, but then you've got the clover bliss, the creaminess, just taking the edge off.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
We share one mind, Miss Jenny Morris and I. Absolutely delicious. And I think this is a springboard to create so many different dishes. If you want to create this beautiful, punchy sauce yourself, then you can just head over to expressoshow.com. We've got all of today's culinary inspiration there. Cook along and please post pictures. Come and have another.
Divine.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. Yes, it is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. We're live here on S3. Thank you very much for choosing to start your Wednesday with us. We're talking talent, we're talking parenting, nurturing talent, getting talent to step out into its light this morning.
Absolutely. And we asked you on social media, if talent is the natural ability to do something really well, what do you think your best talent is? I think your talent is sleeping, my friend.
No, that is a fact. No, that's a fact. And I do it really well. Sometimes. But I think, in fact, no, my talent that I do really, really well is problem solving.
Really?
There isn't a problem I cannot solve with ease. Honestly, it's a real thing.
We need to put you to the test. Let's see what the rest of Mzansi has to say. Maybe problem solving is one of their talents as well. So Rian Maastorp says, good morning, my lovely peeps. I can make people love and also fall in love with my voice by singing for them. Rian Maastorp, let's put it to the test. Send us a video or a voice note or something to let us know if you can actually make us fall in love with you. We're keeping you to this.
We got one from Tyler Adams as well saying, making people laugh. Hey, that is a talent. That's That's quite something, that, Tyler.
Comedian.
Tell us that joke, matey.
Obida Sade saying, hello, my Expresso family. My talent is cooking. I can cook with whatever I have, and it can be a stunner of a meal, but can't bake, and I would love to learn. You have to come cook for us.
What would you say is your one?
Talking. I can talk for days. Like if someone said like for 24 hours, all you have to do is speak, I could speak for days.
Jamie Lee, honestly, can speak tot Piet kom. Honestly.
Please speak no.
Tot Piet kom. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Remember to use that hashtag Expresso Show. Please get those submissions in. Raul de Monet, with the talent to tell the news, is on standby.
Thank you so much, Kang. While we all find out where Piet is, I will start with the national news this morning. Now, looking at the Modimolle Mokopong municipality in Limpopo, which has collected almost 1 million in one day after it threatened to cut off electricity to government entities due to non-payment. Now, Executive Mayor Marlene van Staden says, the move again cast a spotlight on the constant failure by government departments and other entities to pay for utilities, thereby placing pressure on municipal finances across the province. Now, the municipality was owed almost 760 million rand in outstanding electricity debt. Now, sticking to South Africa, where our ambassador to the Ukraine has said he had no choice but to leave the capital of Kiev as an armored Russian convoy was heading to the city. Now, Andrei Groenewald said explosions could be heard in the distance as he packed the vehicle to leave yesterday morning. Now, he's now traveling south with his wife and 3 children towards Romania or Hungary. He also said he had been working hard to secure the exit of South Africans and other foreigners from Ukraine, some of whom have been facing racism as they have tried to flee. Well, moving from national news, we move over to the international fronts, and the prosecutor for the International Criminal Court, otherwise known as the ICC in The Hague, Karim Khan, says they plan to start investigating alleged war crimes relating to Russia's invasion of Ukraine as soon as possible. Now, Khan says there's enough evidence of the possible war crimes and crimes against humanity, and violations include attacks on civilians, schools, as well as hospitals. Meanwhile, the UN says more than 660,000 people have already fled Ukraine since the invasion last week. Now, most refugees are women and children. And now, next up, we move over to Mozambique, who have publicly owned electricity company. They have signed a new contract to supply power to Eswatini. Now, the contract will run for 17 months and supply 20 megawatts of power, which could be revised depending on the needs of the Eswatini electricity company. And the company said in a statement that a bilateral relationship was over a decade old, with Mozambique and South Africa being the main suppliers of energy to meet over 70% of the kingdom's domestic consumption needs. Now, next up, a very, very entertaining story indeed. Now, the acclaimed American operatic soprano Lizette Oropesa decided to sing Violetta's Sempre Libera from Verdi's La Traviata as an encore for a recital at the Verdi Festival in Parma, Italy recently. But it is a duet, and Oropesa's was a solo recital, and for that reason there was no tenor present to perform the part. But her plan was to sing only Violetta's piece. Now, this was when Liu Jianwei, an opera student and longtime fan of the Cuban-American soprano, stepped in. Now, he boldly stood up at the back of the hall and sang the tenor part, not only to the enjoyment of the audience, but also to the Oropesa's utmost delight. After the performance went viral on social media. Now, Jianwei said he spontaneously stood up to sing because Lizette Oropesa was a musician he adored very much, and he happened to have learnt the opera before. However, he did apologize profusely for doing so, saying it was, in fact, impolite behavior. But the opera star didn't share Jianwei's view, and Oropesa said she thoroughly enjoyed the duet, giving Jianwei her autograph and posing for pictures with him. Well, speaking of talent on the show, there's another one popping up, and we hope more of that comes through. For now, of course, it's time to kick into the rest of the headlines, and here's G with the latest on the sport.
Thank you so much, Ryle. Let's start with cricket and some pretty good news from a Proteas standpoint. New Zealand's hopes of defending their World Test Championship title suffered a major setback when South Africa crushed them by 198 runs in their second test. It was New Zealand's third defeat in 6 tests now over the past 3 months, and their second at home, where they've been enjoying being almost unplayable in recent years. Kagiso Rabada, Marco Jansen and Keshav Maharaj all taking 3 wickets each in New Zealand's second innings as the Black Caps were bowled out for just 227. So that leaves New Zealand now 6th in the 9-team standings with 28 Test Championship points from their 6 tests played. Well, South Africa are 4th now with 36 points from their 5 matches. The Proteas will now be building up towards playing Bangladesh in another 2-match test series, and that's a little bit later this month. And staying with cricketing news, some positive news at that as well. Cricket South Africa yesterday confirmed the fixtures for the 2021-22 One-Day Cup competition, set to take place between the 11th of March and the 6th of April. So the competition will be played in both Division 1 and 2 leagues now, with home and away matches in a round-robin format, with the top 2 teams then progressing to the finals. And while the previous season's competition was obviously played in a biosecure environment, or BSE, spectators will this year get to attend the matches at selected venues throughout the tournament. Now, each venue will permit a maximum of 1,500 fully vaccinated spectators, obviously at their own discretion. Now, it's cast a slightly wider gaze as we head on to international footballing front. Alexander Zinchenko yesterday captained Manchester City as classy finishes from Riyad Mahrez and Jack Grealish sent the English champions into the FA Cup quarter-finals with a 2-0 win at Peterborough. The Ukrainian international Zinchenko took the armband in his first appearance since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, Fernandinho had initially been listed as City's skipper for the tie, but the Brazilian, who signed from a Ukrainian side, Shakhtar Donetsk, offered the role to Zinchenko in a show of solidarity. Now, elsewhere, substitute Josh Coburn scored a fine winner in extra time as Middlesbrough stunned Tottenham Hotspur to reach the quarterfinals as well. Then Jairo Ridderwald scored an 82nd-minute winner as Crystal Palace beat Championship side Stoke 2-1 to get their place as well. And we move on to rugby. World Cup winning scrum half Herschel Jantjies has signed another 2-year contract extension with the Stormers, which will keep him at home in the Cape up until at least 2024. So another very proud product of the Western Province rugby youth system. Jantjies first represented Western Province at under 16 level, while at Paul Roos Gymnasium in Stellenbosch. The 25-year-old then made his debut for his boyhood team towards the end of the 2018 season and made an impact there. Then he made his Springbok debut the following year and also made an immediate impact in the national setup, ending 2019, of course, with a Rugby World Cup winners medal. So we certainly wish him well on the next phase of his career back home, but that's where we leave our sport for the next hour or so. We'll touch on those headlines at 8. Let's get back into the weather.
Thank you very much, Graham Richards. We take a look at those weather news as well as the temperatures a bit later on. Let's start here. Some 50 people and at least 5 horses were rescued from a bridge outside Lismore in northern New South Wales out in Australia. This happened yesterday morning after being stranded overnight in rapidly rising, raging floodwaters. Now, the bridge is situated on the banks of the Richmond River and was used by residents in efforts to seek higher ground. Locals with boats and rescue crews successfully rescued them from the bridge, moving them to safety. And rescue teams then transported the stranded to the local school, which had become a makeshift evacuation center to cope with the region's escalating flood crisis. Now, rescue crews, police, firefighters, the military and locals with boats have conducted more than 1,000 rescues and responded to 6,000 calls for help in the region. Flooding in Woodburn was expected to reach 7.2 meters last night, 2 meters higher than the flood record set in 1954. We wish them all the best in their rescue missions there. And now back to our very own shores where things are a bit warmer. We, of course, look at those skies as we showcase more of the great sunrise photos that you have shared through to us on our Facebook page. Gavin Pollock from Durban kicks off our 7 o'clock update with this bold sunrise picture that overlooks the beautiful ocean. And then we got one from regular photographer Vincent Lutuli, who sent through this amazing photo, as you can see, capturing the morning sky looking like a painting. And of course, you can see those hues of soft orange and yellow. It's quite something to look at. Thank you very much for those pictures. We do it again in the next hour on Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. And now a look at those temperatures across the country. Thunderstorms are expected out in Polokwane with a bit of sun, though. 40% chance of thunderstorms. 17 is your low, reaching a high of 27. If you are out in Mbombela today, your low is 19. You will peak at a high of 27. It's cloudy with some showers expected over there. Tshwane, Mahlanye, Pretoria, thunderstorms with a bit of sun as well. 18, reaching a high of 28. Johannesburg 16 and 26, with Mahikeng coming in at a low of 18, peaking at 30. If you're out in Klerksdorp, your low is 18. You will reach a high of 29, with Kimberley expecting lots of sun today. A break from the rain, 18, reaching a maximum of 33. Sunny times for Bloemfontein as well, 15 and 31. Richards Bay is mostly cloudy today. 22 is your minimum. You will reach a maximum of 31. Sunny times and thunderstorms expected for Pietermaritzburg, 18 and 31. The warmest place to be, Durban, sun and clouds. 22 is your low, reaching a high of 30, with Mthatha coming in with a low of 17, reaching highs of 33. If you're out in East London, 20 is your low, reaching a maximum of 30. Craddock, sunny times, 17 and 36. Gqeberha GQ baby, 18 and 26. Those are your temps, with George coming in at 17. Clouds and a bit of rain. You will peak at a high of 25 out in George. The Mother City, some sun and showers, 66% out there. 17 is your low, reaching a high of 22, with Worcester coming in at a low of 14, reaching a high of 28. It's partly cloudy out in Sutherland. 8 is your low, reaching a high of 24. And if you're out in Upington, take in the sun. 17 is your low. You will peak at a high of 34. And that's where we leave it for now. Make it a feel-good what? Wednesday.
Guess what? It is about to be a feel-good kind of Wednesday indeed, because 12-year-old Sade is about to do his rendition of Bruno Mars' Talking to the Moon. Again, only 12 years old. Get those tissues out. Sade, the floor is yours.
I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you back. I want you back. My neighbors think I'm crazy, but they don't understand. You're all I have. You're all I have. At night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself, talking to the moon, trying to get to you. In hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. All in my room, who sits alone, talking to the moon. I'm feeling like I'm famous, the talk of the town. They say I've gone mad. Yeah, I've gone mad. But they don't know what I know, 'cause when the sun goes down, someone's talking back. Yeah, they're talking back. Oh. At night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself, talking to the moon, trying to get to you. In hopes you're on the
Eric said, you feel like you're famous. Sade, you are famous. You are a superstar. Show him some love on our social media. Expresso Morning Show on S3. Kom gee my 'n drukkie, man. Ag, jy is pragtig. We'll see you after this. Ah, that was amazing.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show. You're just in time for some entertainment news. We're live. We're coming through to you on S3. Okay, so open up to this. Some really good news, okay? Toya DeLazy.
Okay.
You love her, right?
Yeah.
She announced something really incredible. Singer and performer Toya DeLazy and her wife, in fact, Alison Cheek, they are expecting their very first child, guys. How's that?
Nice.
Yes. Taken to Instagram, Toya shared their news by posting pictures of a photo shoot. I mean, it was the most beautiful thing. It was capturing the magical moment. I shed a tear, honestly, when I saw that. And the caption to it was this: "Here's to the part called motherhood. Livumile, we're pregnant. I'm gonna be a mummy." Guys, I mean, come on.
You're pulling at the heartstrings this morning.
Right, can you imagine just being able to start a family in that way? Their life story has been absolutely incredible. I mean, the newlyweds, they tied the knot. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was an intimate ceremony. It happened last year. And Toya took to her Instagram to share their excitement on their wedding day. I mean, obviously, I stalk her, so I saw when she posted that. But they've been together for 10 years now. Their love story has been one to really just revel over. She lived between South Africa and the UK, Toya. And while their relationship, you know, has obviously grown, now she's based in the UK. And I mean, I'm very happy for them personally. And I think, you know, on behalf of the Expresso team, we want to say congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. But
I hope we get to name her. I hope we get to name the baby.
We get to name the
like,
baby.
As Expresso, because we're all family. Like, Toya's been on the show before. And
wow,
so I feel like she'd ask us, like, Uncle Tabsy, do you want to name her?
I don't know if anyone should trust me with naming their child. What name would you give the child?
I don't know. Toya...
Koya.
Taniqua. I don't know.
You see, that's why they
sexy.
mustn't ask us to name.
Yeah, rather
You can
not.
call her like Toya Productive. Toya DeLazy and then Productive.
Oh my word, you're spending way too much time with Carl and,
right?
and
Rubbing off on me. The dad jokes. It's the dad jokes coming through here. Oh, look, I got some movie parts for you guys. Of course, when it comes to action and action men, I'm always giving you the plug. So, Tom Cruise is in the building now. He's got his own helicopter. He's in South Africa and he's doing a film. Any guesses what it is?
Mission Impossible 8.
Yes, another one. There's another one. It's number 8, of course. Now, Tom Cruise lived up to his action man status as he piloted his own helicopter on set in South Africa. Now, listen to this. The Hollywood heavyweight gave a friendly wave and a smile to fans as he arrived to film scenes for Mission Impossible 8 in Hoedspruit, Limpopo. Now, the actor who plays Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible, he's been flying himself to scenes in the nearby Kruger National Park.
That's how
levels, man.
He rocks up.
Are you guys ready for me? Okay, cool. Let me just get the chopper and then quickly cruise to the other side of the Kruger National Park.
It nicely. Life.
Casual, right? Now, look, I know, obviously, with a superstar like that, you wouldn't expect anything less. And this week, he also told the fans that it's so awesome to see you. I can't wait to see you next week. Obviously, I can't wait for you to see the movie. And I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Now, one of them also asked Tom if you would ever be keen to move to South Africa, to which he said, I would love to. It would be nice to live here, and we've always also wanted to do a film here for a very long time. So, yeah, man, I'm hoping that he's enjoying his time out here, cruising in the chopper.
I feel like you and him and G could be like this.
I know, I should go to Hoedspruit. I should just, like, fly my chopper there and be like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
First a yacht, now a chopper.
I think you're making money elsewhere that we are not.
Paul, are you not getting paid the same as me on the show, huh?
Clearly not. Let's turn to the little ones because Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo from The Block, and Jimmy Fallon, longtime friends, A-list celebs, and now co-authors. Now, of course, the Marry Me actress and the late-night talk show host announced that they've teamed up to write a brand new bilingual children's book called Conpolo, a bilingual playtime adventure, which is set for release on the 11th of October this year. Now, Fallon says he and the singer-actress have always wanted to do something together, and one of the many things I love about her is how great of a mom she is. That is what Fallon says. Since, of course, we're both parents, we thought a children's book would be the perfect fit. How cute is this? Like friends making money together, securing the bag together. Clearly, not you and I, and you and all of us. Okay. Now, although Lopez is the author of the New York Times best-selling memoir, True Love, her release of Conpolo serves as the first children's book she's ever written. Fallon, however, is somewhat of a children's book veteran, having penned 4 picture books, all of which debuted at #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list. But I love this for them. I love that friends get to secure the bag together.
Yes. I also don't really care. It's just anything that J-Lo does. So I'm going to read that book as well. I can't even read. I would imagine that's like Spanish or something. Yeah. I'm going to figure out Spanish. I'm going to read that book.
What I do love is I think the evolution of J-Lo, for example, just seeing how she's obviously this pop icon now stepping into this role of motherhood and inspiring young people in this way is absolutely beautiful. But from books to movies, our film buff, JP is standing by to give us the lowdown on what to check out at the cinema this week.
Yeah, rock out, my friends. It's time to get excited about the cinema. You're a movie buff.
Why do they call me buff?
Because you are, man. You are buff. No,
it's got nothing to do with
You're buff and your brain is buff. Your hair is buff. You train your brain every day, man. Your brain's busy curling right now.
I love the force with which you stand your friends. It's like, no, you're buff.
You are buff. Okay. No, your brain is bigger than anyone else I know, man. So let's use that big old brain, my friend, and get into some new movie trailers. And just reading the little synopses, wow, these look good, man. Let's start with Fear. I'm guessing from Russia? No, this looks like a brilliant international film.
No, you're not wrong.
Obviously hitting the nail on the head in terms of a relationship forming between a refugee and someone living in this place. But set the scene for us, because the title makes me nervous.
This just happened to come up, like, in the past 2 weeks it was. So these, again, as usual, these are trailers that, grab my attention.
Got you excited,
on your radar. Hopefully, you follow them too and be like, when this comes to South Africa, or when I find the legal means to get this movie out. Like you said, about a refugee and about someone who is a local in Bulgaria. This was Bulgaria's official submission for Oscar consideration last year, it was. Okay. So these Oscars obviously didn't make the list, but that obviously means that it's a movie they got a lot of faith in.
It's got the chutzpah out. It's got the chops.
I suppose chutzpah is all good. It's Eastern European you can use. There are definitely people who say chutzpah there. She is a widower. A widow. is what this lady is, and she's decided to take it to being a life of a recluse. She doesn't have any sort of political position, I suppose, in life, but she finds this guy who's trying to make his way across Bulgaria, an African refugee, and shoves her rifle in his face, and she's like, okay, this scene, by the way, hilarious. He's giving away his position to the neighbors because he ate a chili that he underestimated. So the entire neighborhood's like, wait, that's not a normal sound.
Something fishy.
And so it ends up being sort of like, well, given the scarf that he wears, I think that they are sort of playing on E.T. in a way. In that, you know, because it is half comedy, it is also obviously drama in some sense. But it's a woman.
And it's black and white.
Yeah, which, you know, these issues obviously aren't.
Yeah.
So felt completely timely, especially since, good grief, we're seeing hashtags for Africans in Ukraine because the Ukrainian forces and police are treating Africans like second-class humans, as usual. So now better than ever, especially since Bulgaria's prime minister also said those heinous things about civilized refugees being preferred and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The submission from proud Bulgarians themselves who believe in being better humans, no date for...
And I love it, and I love the fact that this is
looking.
hopefully going to reach a lot of people. I love that. Let's move on to another that seems to be making a statement in its name and in the background from what I've picked up of the story. Sissy. Is this a teen film? Is this a...
when was the last time we had a teen slasher type?
Yeah, man.
Wait, why are you that?
Come on,
why
man.
that much of an appetite?
Scream 9. Isn't Scream 10 out now? Yeah.
Shame it didn't hit sort of the same high that they would have hoped. But
so who's the sissy and how is she going to get revenge?
These are all Australian sissies.
Sissy?
Geez, that was really good, actually. Congratulations. Here's your passport. Sissy is an Australian production. She is Cecilia. This character is an influencer, I believe they call it. I'm sorry, I'm old. That's the term.
Go and check out his Instagram. He's an influencer.
She's clearly puts on a happy face when she's online. And when she's off, she seems like she has, like any other sane human being, an amount of baggage that basically she's trying to cope with, and gets invited to a hen party of a friend who she sort of only half remembered. I get the feeling like there's, you know, people planting themselves in her life. She finds that at this hen party, there's an old bully from high school who now acts as if she's on friendly terms. But the more they spend this weekend with each other, the more the past comes to the fore. Seems cleverly named Sissy because you might remember Carrie.
Yeah.
Was played by Sissy Spacek.
Oh my word.
So that Carrie kind of vibe, basically, like this past that you were repressing, that you were putting in front of, let's sell this candle, let's sell this salt lamp.
Will out. Ooh, okay.
When all of that is sort of like a front. So no date in essay just yet, but when you need a good Wes Craven looking type thing, teen slasher, that actually is critical of, you know, the way we treat teenagers and culture and stuff like that.
And I suppose honing in on that social media culture now in this way, very, very timeless indeed. We're going to leave it there for now. We've still got tons of fantastic movies to get through. Some big budget blockbusters as well. They got him excited. Hopefully they'll get you excited as well. The Buff Boys. Welcome back. Yes, that rock out signals one thing. It's time to get back into the movies, and now we're going to get into some of the heavy hitters. These are the movies that JP Sebastian has gotten super excited about, and we're about to get into some of the blockbusters. Yes.
You know that you did a magic spell with your hands when you said my name?
Did I?
JP Sebastian.
Yeah, I'm trying to make you more buff. JP Sebastian.
It's going to take a lot of work.
We'll get to some magic in just a moment. The magic is here, but first let's get into a magical performer. Dude, you know I love Sam Rockwell.
Yes.
He's a master. He's one of that small group that I think defines a generation, his generation of actors. Talk me through
Can you remember even offhand, like, because there's obviously 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. There's Moon. Moon is heartbreaking, Sam Rockwell. He's done a whole gamut of diverse kind of things, and good for him that, you know, he does some voice work.
Yeah. No, he's just unbelievably talented, I think.
He is. So here he plays the big bad wolf in a way.
Okay.
So it's just referred to as the wolf in The Bad Guys. DreamWorks production, and good for DreamWorks. DreamWorks is known, I suppose, for, you know, remember Shrek was an original. Like, people go, oh my goodness, it was like the first one that wasn't a reboot of a reiteration of an old, you know, stamp of
character.
And so again, this in a way feels original. Obviously, they're taking archetypal characters, the big bad wolf, you know, Sly Fox and all that kind of stuff. The fox is played by, I think, not Awkwafina, and you've got
Zazie Beetz.
Mark Maron's in there as well. Craig Robinson is hilarious. These are all really talented comedians. And you can see, this is all I need from a cartoon, from an animation, man. Kinetic. Make it kinetic, make it elastic. We grew up on Looney Tunes, and Anvil falls on a coyote, you laugh your butt off. Like, that's
completely.
So
and I like the style. This is quite stylized.
It's like,
yeah.
And you know who I think we have to thank for that is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yeah.
Reminding people, like, there's not sort of one global grammar you have to try and aim for. You can make your movie unique, and The Bad Guys does really seem quite sort of unique in its way. Also reminds me a bit of Lupin, which is the Japanese animation, that whoop fast kind of, the comedy is the visual as same as, at the same time, the dialogue is the comedy, etc., etc.
Looks stunning, man.
I'm pretty keen.
Beautiful.
I just hope that the voice actors can be brought to the party, because you've got something that's so elastic, that's so, you love Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
This looks like Jim Carrey.
It's going to need the voice to back it up. I get that.
And these are very talented people. But
all right, I'm feeling those guys, the bad
sorry,
guys.
just check the date for SA.
April the 8th. Okay,
That's right,
so you've got a little bit of time at that one. I think is going to make the kids and the parents really happy. Let's move on to what I'm going to assume is massive. Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Wink, wink. There is an appetite, I think, created for this.
Are you a fan of that universe?
Yeah, I got to go to the Harry Potter studios in the UK.
I got to
and
go to the Harry Potter
we drove halfway across the UK from the north with my son, took him there, and it was mind-blowing. Just the amount of money that franchise has made is mind-blowing. But I got a sense, I suppose, with casts reuniting, there's a lot of interest in their universe now, and I love the fact. So maybe this is a really good time to be releasing this, but set the tone for us. Where are we in the story of, if you will?
So as someone who didn't grow up with it and wasn't, you know, I didn't look for Harry Potter in my life.
Potterhead.
No. Yeah. Brain just like split into you, saying, nope, don't say Potter, JP. Okay. I'm being silly. But, yeah, story being is that now, first of all, you're talking about people reuniting. No Johnny Depp for a start. Returning as Gellert Grindelwald. Can't believe I knew that character's name.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen takes his shoes, and Mads Mikkelsen...
He's your man, he's your boy.
He's got to be your man as well. I mean, between Sam Rockwell and Mads Mikkelsen, such good actors. Of course, Jude Law is deeply, deeply talented as well. Eddie Redmayne, who people remember from movies and Oscars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not super sweet on him, but whatever. It's a really
he's almost so gifted at his craft. You're like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. He's one of those. He's almost too good.
You're showing off by being alive. So the second one really feels like it sort of tones down a lot of that world-building kind of sense, and more now gets into, obviously, the politics between these different groups. So it feels a bit like it's almost Cloak and Dagger. Almost feels like it's a bit of Bridge of Spies. Feels a bit like it's Cold War type of story unfolding. But at the same time, still feels a lot like, say, remember X-Men, mutants versus humans, mutants who are trying to save humans, etc., etc. But that all makes sense for us in April, halfway through. I think it's 15th.
Yeah, the April the 15th. You are absolutely right. David Yates taking the helm for that one again. He was involved with the Harry Potter's 5 to 8. So if you loved 5 to 8 of Harry Potter, this is for you. Oh, buddy, I know we didn't get through even half of it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. We're talkers. Those are our special talents. We talk, and he trains his brain. Do some brain crunches.
Please
while
make
we-
me buff.
You can let us know what movies have got you excited at the box office.
Oh, I love it, Jen. So much to look forward to. And now's the time, obviously, to get a treat involved when you plan to watch some of these movies. And I think we can all agree that tacos are definitely top tier. Now, what could possibly beat a crunchy shell filled with barbecue pulled pork, a fresh pineapple slaw topped with the coriander classic mayo? Yes, that's what we're doing right here in the kitchen. And here to show us how is the illustrious, beautiful Jenny Morris in the building. You look different. You look good. I like these colors on you. New look? Is this a new blouse? What's happening?
It is a new blouse, it's a new look, and I'm not going to go drab into winter, forget it.
Okay, excuse-moi. I like this look on you. It looks really good. Can Mzansi get a hold of this as well? Stop it, I can't help it.
Stop being so jealous.
Well, look, obviously it's always colourful in the kitchen, but also I see a lot of colours here when it comes to ingredients too. What are we doing here?
Well, what we're going to do is... Okay, so, darling, we're going to take our gorgeous classic mayo,
Yeah?
which is number one. There's so many numbers in this range,
Yes.
I love it.
So many options.
And then I've done some pork and we've pulled it.
Okay.
And we've mixed it with barbecue sauce. If you would like a little
get
bit
it
more, I
smoky.
can. Yeah, I can just give you another little drop.
Okay.
And we're going to mix that up. And then we're going to serve it with a salad. So you have these sort of smoky elements. You've got the pulled pork, some beautiful pickled onion, done in a little bit of beetroot juice. My favourite guacamole.
Get it more creamy with the avo, yes.
Salad. So we've got the pineapple, which
But hang
is
on, I'm
gonna
noticing
bring...
something. There's no pan here.
No, we don't need a pan. This is all about paint by numbers.
Okay, all right. So can I assist you with getting on the sauce?
You get me the mayo going.
All right.
And with a little bit of coriander. And then I'm going to just break this up beautifully. And can you just smell this as I just rip into
It's
these
starting
leaves?
to smell fresh.
Just gorgeous.
I think that smokiness is going to need to be balanced out with something. I think the coriander and the fresh fruit
It's
and
going to
everything
be
you're adding
stunning.
is going to do exactly
Yes.
that. Now, one thing I must obviously talk about while I'm using our hero ingredient over here is the fact that you can also pack in some good nutrition into this recipe, right? So the recipe, like I said, is packed with the nutritional ingredients. So you can feel free to add any vegetables that you have in your fridge to make sure that you're getting all of your vitamins too. And you can substitute the corn shells with the soft tortilla wrap instead if you maybe prefer a softer option. I like it crunchy, but of course everybody has their preference. And if you don't eat pork, then you can also switch out your cooked pork or pulled pork for something like simple chicken. You can shred your chicken before adding the barbecue sauce and kind of get a very similar feel to that. But of course, don't forget your hero ingredient here. Obviously, we're using our number one. It's a mild tanginess to it as well. And I think it's going to perfectly pair with that smokiness, balance it out, like you said.
It's going to be fabulous.
But still give that good creaminess.
You don't have to use number one. You can use any one that your mouth loves. You know what I'm saying? This belongs to you. Take this recipe and just own it.
Own it. I like
Own
that.
it. Some of this lovely pickled onion, because it'll bring a nice acidity into this with the sweetness.
Yeah.
And what I've done is put a bit of salad in the bottom of the... I wish this was a huge shell, because I'm so greedy.
We're just going to have to make more. More snacks.
Yes. And I'm going to take a little bit of that guacamole, which I absolutely love, and I'm going to just spread it on like that. And then I want that mayo. Are you greedy like Jenny? Do you want a little bit more of this, darling?
If Jenny's doing it, I'm doing it.
Okay. And then I'm going to just literally just go... Oh! Bite me!
This for me, Mama.
Oh, Mama will feed you.
Thank you so much. Zanzi, as simple as that. You don't even need a pan for this one. Put it all together with some ingredients that you should have in your fridge or at home. And of course, there's so many substitutes when it comes to this. So like we said, you can add some veg to it. It doesn't have to be fruity. You can add some chicken if you don't eat pork, and you can get as creative as you want. Right now, I think we have won. Officially, the taste is going to be in the pudding, or the proof is going to be in the pudding itself. So let me bite into this, of course, but you can get the recipe at expresso.com. I hope you enjoy this. Quick, simple, easy as that. And there's one last thing to do after you prepare a delicious meal like this. Get your crunch on.
How crunchy is that?
We got a winner.
Munchy crunchy.
Upstyle your home with Expresso, as 3 lucky viewers like you stand a chance to win game vouchers to the value of 25,000 Rand for a room improvement of your very own.
To enter, all you have to do is post a photo of the space you want to revamp on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter competition post, and remember to use the hashtag #GotGame in your entry.
The competition is closing on the 22nd of March 2022, and all the terms and conditions apply. Good luck.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. Let's open up to some fashion news right now because Africa Fashion International, otherwise known as AFI, they continue their charge as the leaders in taking African fashion to the world. They do it so well consistently for so many years. Now, in celebration of International Women's Day, AFI, in partnership with Forbes, they'll be taking part in the inaugural 3050 Summit due to take place in Abu Dhabi from the 6th to the 9th of March 2020. It's a big event.
Go right now.
It's a big event. I want to be in Dubai.
Let's go to Abu Dhabi right now. But today we are speaking to Shamira Moodley, AFI Fast Track Young Designer of the Year 2021, as well as Hannelise Robinson, Executive for Events at AFI's, to tell us more about the Forbes 3050 Summit. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. You ladies are looking so spectacular at what? 7:45. Speaking fashion.
Hannelise, are you there?
Good morning. Yes, I am.
There you are, ladies. Okay, well, you look stunning. And I imagine, I mean, this comes very effortlessly for you at any time of the day. But maybe, Hannelise, let's start here. Tell us more about the Forbes 3050 or 30 by 50 Summit and AFI's participation in the event. What's that all about?
Yes, good morning to all the viewers. AFI is partnering with Forbes to host the Women's Wear Collective Showcase on the 7th of March in Abu Dhabi. As AFI, we saw this as an opportunity to showcase our designers to global audiences, as this is part of our mission to connect our vast network of creatives to global markets that care about authentic African narratives. And for the very first time, Forbes is bringing together the world's leading female leaders and entrepreneurs, the top 30 under 30, and 50 over 50 women in celebration of International Women's Day. The focus of the event is mentorship, and this aligns with our Power to Empower mentorship program, as well as the AFI Masterclass series, where we advocate for intergenerational knowledge sharing.
Hannelise, tell us more. We need all of the details. It sounds like it's going to be an event not to be missed. Beast and I are already trying to see who's booking the flight tickets here. But who are the designers participating and what can the viewers expect from this event?
Yes, so we have an incredible designer lineup, 7 designers. We have Sarah Al-Tamini from the UAE, based in Abu Dhabi. We have Sima Azeh-Degan. She is based in the US, but originally from Iran. Eric Raisina from Madagascar. He's based in Cambodia. And then we have Marie-Louise Bishara. She's from Cairo in Egypt. Christy Brown from Ghana. And then from South Africa, we have Sober Design House, Tsepo Mafokwane, and of course, our very own Shamira Moodley, Lani Rani, and she is our AFI Fast Track winner. So it'll be a true celebration of women globally on this evening. So we're really looking forward to it.
Shamira, first of all, congratulations on your success. I mean, watching your star shine has been the most beautiful thing. I'm sure you are very eager to have everyone see the showcase. How will viewers be able to check that out? But I mean, I want them to buy stuff off of the runway. How can they do that?
Well, it's going to be live streamed, so everybody can join in. I love the fact that that just makes fashion so inclusive now. So you can join in and live stream, and then they'll be able to purchase off the AFI website. There's a House of Nala website, and you can purchase straight off there. So we're bringing African fashion to the world, and it's going to be super accessible to everyone.
Shamira, you seem excited and all reason to be so, because I mean, you're up there with some big names. What does it mean being awarded the AFI Fast Track Young Designer of the Year 2021? Put that on your CV, girl. And what does it mean for your career to be on this platform?
Right, so I'm like 41 years old. I'm actually an accountant who's made this leap into the kind of creative world rather late in life. So I'm very new to fashion. This is everything is incredibly exciting to me because, every time it's the first time I'm a fashion version, if you asked, internationally. So I'm super excited. This means this is such a huge opportunity to share what I've been essentially making in my home with the rest of the world. So, it just would allow me to do what I've always wanted to do. I've had this creativity, just suppressed within me, and I get to let it out and show it to the world. So, yeah, bucket lists are being ticked every single day.
And your story, Shumera Moodley, has been such an inspiring one, because taking that giant leap from accounting into the world of fashion, you must be really excited that you are stepping into the big league, showcasing in Abu Dhabi. Why is this so exciting for you?
Because I think fashion is in my DNA. It is exciting. I'm not nervous. I think I've been waiting for this moment, and I think I'm ready. So, just being there in the presence of these powerful, influential women, I think what gives me power is the ability to share my own authentic story, to be proud and bold of my history, of my heritage, and just sharing it on a platform like this. The kind of people who have connected with me internationally after I've shared my story, they haven't necessarily been just from fashion, just regular, everyday people who said, wow, I've listened to your story and I'm so inspired. I'm going to write that email. I'm going to get off the couch. I'm going to knock on that door, because if you can do it, maybe I can too. And for me, that in itself is just everything I need to proceed and go forward in this journey.
We are so excited for you. Yes, like Devisa said, you are a queen. I can't believe you're 41 years old, by the way. We just skipped over that part. You did not look 41 at all. And we see a bit of your work at the background there. Tell us a bit more about your design work and what is the inspiration behind your designs?
So, I want my designs to always speak color, joy, vibrancy. We live in a time where, this unprecedented humanitarian crisis and climate change crisis. We're a sad world at this present time. I just want people to remember the sparks of joy, that there's kindness in the world, that love still exists. And I think I want my clothes to speak from that point of view, and that's where it'll always start for me. I don't use new fabric. Everything I have has been donated fabric and remnant stock fabric. So I always start with what I have available to me, and that's always going to be the basis of my designs. So that's how sustainability really comes into play for me.
This is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so one thing about our viewers, Annalise, is that they really do commit themselves to new and interesting things, and I'm sure there's going to be many of them who go onto your website and check out how they too can become part of the AFI Fast Track program. Thank you very much for creating this platform. Thank you very much for allowing beautiful stories to be shared with the world in a time where people do need the inspiration.
Tabiso, if I can just mention that the audience can follow the live stream of the actual show on Monday night. They can register on our website, africanfashioninternational.com, and then also purchase directly from the runway immediately after the show. So yes, please join us on the journey. And I just also want to mention that we also have Plat Africa, Anglo Plat Africa Jewelry, who will be showcasing alongside our wonderful designers.
Stunning. 7th of March. It's going into the calendar, onto the diary. Thank you, Annalise. Thank you so much, Shumera.
Thank you.
So who's booking us tickets? You or me? We'll wait. But again, once again, thank you to Annalise Robinson as well as Shumera for joining us on the show today, and all the best with your big debut in Abu Dhabi. You're going to see your name in lights.
Time now to get excited about automotive excellence and a brave new step. For over 100 years now, Audi's history has been marked by prestige, by automotive ambition and technological excellence. Now, a new era of mobility awaits and will be driven by electric mobility. We know this. Audi is now driving the revolution with the introduction of their e-tron fleet. It's not what we believe or hope for. It's now a global certainty. Take it on board, and backed by firm electric vehicle or EV production targets from almost every major vehicle manufacturer around the world. Henrik Wenders, Senior Vice President, is at the helm of driving the Audi brand forward into this brave new era, and he is here with us today to chat about how the brand has committed to an electric future with their recent Audi e-tron range launch here in South Africa. Henrik, welcome to the couch.
Thank you for having me.
It's very exciting to have you here because I have been an Audi man for the longest time, so I understand the automotive excellence.
Yeah.
You have unveiled the Audi e-tron range here in South Africa with the launch event Celebration of Progress. What are we celebrating? What does that mean to you?
In the past, sustainability and everything related to it was a compromise, was an obligation. And now we're talking about an experience which is at least on the level as we know it already. So we get even more because you get a CO2 neutral drive experience. You're not damaging the planet.
Your child's planet, yeah.
Exactly. And at the same time, you can remain on this experience level. You get even more. And when it comes to the electric motor, you get so much more in terms of performance. So this is why I think you don't need to be brave. I think you just need to be interested and open-minded. And the solutions are with us, and they're damn good looking and so much fun to drive.
I love that, because ultimately it needs to be a good drive. That's at the heart of this. Now, electric mobility, it's not only sustainable, but it is very exciting when we look at the ground that's being broken there. What does the future of mobility look like for Audi? What is making you excited?
Yeah, because in this decade, we're transforming a company which is almost 112 years old.
Wow.
And transforming it after 112 years into a fully electric tech company. Because thanks to the electric motor, we will provide CO2-free emission drives. And thanks to the connectivity, thanks to 5G and in the very near future 6G, we will provide connectivity. And so this is why we will make you independent of time. So because in the past you had to drive to your meeting, you had to drive to the office. Now you can do all the meetings and calls while being on the move. So this flexibility is something we will get and which we will see and which we will experience together. And this is so exciting because it's happening at the same time. So this is why I'd like to say cars will become smart devices on wheels, right? So it's so safe to drive it, and then at the same time you connect the device and you gain so much more in terms of practicality and everyday usability.
Becomes a part of that ecosystem. I absolutely love that. I'm starting to understand this just listening to the tone in the way that you're talking, in your own attitude. You've made a very proud and bold statement that the future is an attitude. What drives the four rings, if you will, in this attitude? What is that future attitude?
I mean, when you look at Audi and look at its history, at Audi, the people always lived progress, right? So you also know the claim Vorsprung durch Technik. So to jump ahead, to jump into the unknown, to come up with bold technological solutions. So leveraging technology in order to come up with great experiences and smart solutions. And that's what we're doing. And always did and always will. But it takes an attitude to create and shape a future, a place you want to live in. It takes you and everyone out there to create it and shape it. And therefore, I think it's very important to approach the future with optimism and with a certain curiosity.
Yeah. I love that. You just need to take that next step. You've had a bit of time here in South Africa. We are, I want to say, petrol heads because we love our cars so much, but we are very much focused on the future and we are very much wanting to embrace this. What has your impression been of South Africa? How excited have you been to be here launching the e-tron?
I mean, first of all, you're talking to a petrol head, but at the latest, when you drive an e-tron, or in particular an e-tron GT, then you know you're getting so much more in terms of performance. I'm the lucky one who was able to drive an RS e-tron GT, the strongest, strongest Audi ever built, with its overboost of, it provides up to 646 horsepower. Man.
So what everyone needs. Everyone needs it.
So this is the reason why the future is great. It's providing an amazing performance, and it will be appreciated also here in South Africa. I'm wholeheartedly convinced. Do the test drive, get behind the wheel, try it out, and then you will agree with me. It's so much fun to drive. People here are open-minded. I've been here on a regular basis. It's so great to be here again and to see the change and see this future orientation. People are investing. Every single human being, every single person is important to drive the change, to live change, and to create and shape the future. So this is why I'm so, the reason why I'm so glad to be here, to create and open this chapter with the people here in South Africa. I think in this culture, this optimism, this future orientation has always been here and always will. So this is why I think the Audi e-tron family will be appreciated, embraced in South Africa, and I look forward to come back and to look at the numbers and look at the experiences and the feedback together.
Sorry, I just couldn't stop thinking about the car that you drive, man. I'm just so jealous. It is amazing. I think there is definitely a resonance with this attitude. I feel it as a South African. I understand where you're coming from. You have made me incredibly excited today, so thank you so much for that. But I would imagine there are a lot of people ready to take that next step. They don't need to be brave. They just need to do it and embrace it.
Please do it and let us know how you feel and what you like. Also what you disliked, because there's always a room for improvement, but we will do our best to provide the most exciting form of mobility also in the upcoming 112 years.
Because that's living progress. Henry, thank you so much. What an absolute
having
pleasure being able to meet you and your team. The future is an attitude, and Audi e-tron is the next exciting step toward a progressive future. So why not join them on this electric evolution, if you will, this revolution, and be a part of a sustainable future.
We were there for Umpelele Mapebeza days, there for the game changer days. Telkom has been and will always be there, making every day more special with the new Telkom Uncapped Prepaid Fiber. Get a 3-day voucher at 99 rands or 7 days at 169 rands and even 30 days at 449 rands. No fixed contract, full control of spend, easy to top up. Fast goes prepaid for your home.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're still live with Expresso. I've got to send out a quick thank you to that Audi team. I got to drive that e-tron RS over this last weekend. You have no idea. Undoubtedly the fastest car I've ever driven in my life, bar none. So you can think about that as we ponder the final hour of the show. And let's get that started now with our official duties. Let's get back into those news headlines.
Thanks so much, G, and I hope you enjoyed that car. It does look very, very good on you indeed. Now, to take a look at the national news, it's just gone past the hour, and Cape Town has declared war on 2 aggressive and venomous invasive wasp species, known as the German and European paper wasps, and by doubling the number of teams assigned, they are going to combat them indeed. Now, a significant increase in calls for help means that 4 teams assigned to removing wasps will be doubled by Friday. Now, the city said in a statement yesterday, and quoted, known for the aggressive aggressive behavior and venomous sting, these invasive wasps frequently spoil outdoor activities and are harmful to our natural ecosystems, unquote. Now, the statement said this, and the wasp has also had a few natural enemies, or many actually, and some of what they do is kill bees as well as other indigenous insects. So definitely looking at curing that cause right now. And sticking to national news, the Modemilo Mukgopong municipality in Limpopo has collected almost 1 million rand in one day after it threatened to cut off electricity to government entities due to non-payment. Now, Executive Mayor Marlene van Staden said that the move again cast a spotlight on the constant failure by government departments and other entities to pay for utilities, thereby placing pressure on municipal finances across the province. Now, the municipality was owed almost 760 million rand in outstanding electricity debt. Now, from national news, we move over to international fronts. Now, a court in the Democratic Republic of Congo, otherwise known as the DRC, has temporarily removed control of a huge copper and cobalt mine from its Chinese owners. Now, the ruling in favor of the Congolese state mining firm Geka Mines is part of a dispute in which the government says it is owed billions of dollars. Now, it accuses the firm that has owned the mine for the past 6 years of understating its reserves. Now, the mine is one of the world's largest sources of cobalt, which is a vital component in batteries for electric cars. Now, next up, the prosecutor at the International Criminal Court, otherwise known as the ICC in The Hague, Karim Khan, says they plan to start investigating alleged war crimes relating to Russia's invasion of Ukraine as soon as possible. Now, Khan says there's enough evidence of possible war crimes and crimes against humanity. Now, violations include attacks on civilians, schools, as well as hospitals. Meanwhile, the UN says more than 660,000 people have already fled Ukraine since the last invasion, which took place last week. Now, most refugees are, in fact, women and children. Now, next up on a lighter front and in some exciting news, leaps into a cage, or a leopard, in fact, leaped into a cage to its safety. Now, a leopard struggling to stay afloat in a 15-meter deep well in Alkutta village in the Indian state of Maharashtra was extremely fortunate to be rescued just in the nick of time. Now, the 7-year-old big cat male was rescued from the well after a 3-hour operation involving members of a wildlife NGO, state forest department officials, and local villagers. Now, a farmer had spotted him paddling helplessly to stay afloat and immediately alerted the forest department. Now, thanks to swift action, the rescuers lowered a metal crate into the well for the leopard to clamber onto. Miraculously, and to the rescuers' absolute delight, he leaped onto the cage and was lifted out of the well. Now, the entire exercise had to be quickly executed as the exhausted animal was struggling to keep his head above water. How the magnificent animal landed in the well, nobody knew, but it sure definitely was his lucky day. Well, on that light note, I'll leave you the rest of the headlines right now. It's time to take one last look at those temperatures and take a glance at the weather. And here's Jamie Lee Domberg with the latest.
Thank you so much, Mr. De Mornay, for that update. Now, in local environmental news this morning, Northern Cape Premier Zamani Saul has said that work was progressing well at the Redstone Concentrated Solar Power Project in Postmasburg, which is expected to bring approximately 480 gigawatt hours of renewable energy annually to the country's energy network. In his State of the Province address, Saul said the project is one of the largest capital investment projects in the Northern Cape. The plant will achieve a full commercial operation by the end of October 2023. He also said as at the end of January, the project had already employed 636 direct jobs on site. Of these, 91% are South Africans, 339 are from local municipalities, 45% are young people under the age of 35, and 15% are women. The project is expected to have close on 1,800 employees by the end of this year. Then, next, moving to our regular sunrise contributions, we have fresh views that have been shared since the start of the week. Now, Neil Naidu from Westbrook Beach sent a stunning image of the sun rising over the ocean. Shane Yankees also captured a shot of the sun breaking through the clouds in Knysna. Then our 7 a.m. update, Gavin Pollock from Durban showcased this bold sunrise that captured the morning glow. And last but not least, we had Vincent Lutuli, who sent through the spectacular sunrise picture all the way away from KZN certainly showing us how they start their Wednesdays here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. But right now, here's a final look at the temperatures that you can expect for the day ahead. For you, Polokwane, do expect some thunder showers coming your way with a range of 17 to 27. If you do find yourself in Umbumbela today, do expect cloud conditions with a shower that ranges from 19 to 27 as well. Pretoria, for you, there's a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 28. Johannesburg can be seen with a range of 16 to 26. Mahikeng, for you, do expect your day to start out with a low of 18 and reach a high of 30, as well as Klerksdorp, your minimum is 18 with a maximum of 29. Kimberley, sunshine coming your way on this Wednesday, ranging from 18 to 33, as well as Bloemfontein can expect a range of 15 to 31. Richards Bay, mostly cloudy conditions are expected on this Wednesday, ranging from 22 to 31, as well as Pietermaritzburg, your minimum is 18 to 31. Durban, 22, 30. Mthatha, for you, it is 17, 33. And if you do find yourself in East London today, do expect a range of 20 to 30. Cradock, 17, 36. Gqeberha, for you, it is 18, 26. George can be seen with a range of 17 to 25. And then, of course, the mother city, Cape Town, do expect some showers today with a range of 17 to 22. Worcester, your minimum is 14 with a maximum of 28. Sutherland, partly cloudy conditions are expected with a range of 8 to 24. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington, ranges from 17 to 34. Well, that is where I leave your weather here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
Oh, regardless of the weather, there are some talented people out there, and we want to meet you, man. We want to find out from you guys this morning, seeing as we've been honing in on super talented children and the idea of fostering that talent. We wanted to know from you guys if you've got any amazing natural talents.
And a lot of people really have weighed in and shared their natural talents with us. Let's take a look on Facebook what they've said. Lizandra Thompson says, good morning. I think my best talent is drawing.
I wish I could draw better than I can. I've always loved that. Mersha, she's created her own talent. I love that. Walking my 10,000 steps every day, yo.
Sure.
I love it.
Nice. Okay, Gary Oakamp, I'm doing something right because life is great. Just don't give me a Rubik's Cube to solve.
Oh, I feel you, buddy. I actually got one when we had the Rubik's Cube World Champion here on the show. I took one and I gave it to my son thinking he's going to do it in 3 seconds and he's going to be like a savant brilliant.
Yeah.
He still hasn't done it.
I mean, very few people
It's about
can.
7 months down the line and he still hasn't.
Very few people could. But we've still got more. Agnolia Malip says, cooking is my passion. I just wish I can have the money to go to culinary school.
Keep pushing.
If you've got the talent, I think, you know,
push for it, man.
to be able to explore flavors and things like that, I think push for it. It's possible.
Yeah, man, maybe there's a bursary with your name on it. Just don't stop pushing. Princess Manganye saying, to protect my beloved one. I love that, man. I like to think that that's a talent that I've got and I'm going to foster as being a parent. I love the idea of that being my superpower. Yeah.
It takes a lot. Let us know what your one specific special talent is. If talent is the ability to do things really, really well, use that hashtag Expresso Show. Your other talent is writing.
Okay. It's getting me to shut up. That's
1 minute
the real
over.
talent.
The directors are saying 2 minutes over on the interview.
Yes, you heard that sound. Welcome back to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling. It is a Wednesday here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We are joined by one of our favorite chefs of all time. Chef Clem is in the building. And of course, if you have any questions for Chef Clem on all things in the kitchen or on love or anything, if you just want to ask him questions, call us right now on 021 110 552. Chef Clem, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm actually, you know what? I can't even have my specs on for this.
Why?
It's gonna get hectic.
Heated. It's gonna get heated.
It is.
Here's why. Because one of our callers, Darren Claessens from Mannenberg, is here to join us live in studio to get help with these culinary conundrums. So please, can we hype him up? Darren Claessens is in the building, everybody! Dun, 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 dun. Come stand right here. Hello, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good in yourselves. Looking fresh, can I just say, hey? Is this your cooking in the kitchen outfit?
No, it's not.
This is not. I know that you have Chef Clem at your disposal right now, so any questions you want to ask him with regards to the kitchen, his love life, even if you want to ask him about that, you can ask him. But I know you have something with regards to onions. So what is your question for Chef Clem today?
I usually, when I make my onions, I usually burn it.
Okay.
Like, I told him it must take long. It starts burning when I put it in. Because I don't know if it's the oil, if it's too hot, if the oil is too hot, or if the oven is maybe on high, something like that. So what can I do for something
I got you. This is a very good question because onions have sugar in them. And as we know, sugar burns very quickly. And onions turn black, and that black is actually the sugar that's been caramelized. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do it today. Very simple, but let me maybe go through some onion cutting techniques. How are your knife skills?
Good five.
All right. That's all right. Okay, let's
Before
go.
we get you, because we don't want to get your outfit, ruined or anything.
Yes.
So you put in, you are upgraded. You get a little apron over there, and then now you can get your hands dirty, okay?
Yeah.
There we go. We're not getting the outfit dirty because that is
So
Stevie outfit.
in front of you, you have a red onion and a white onion. I've taken the skins off, and I've kept them because people throw the skins away, and I totally get why. What do you do with it? You can't really eat it. So it can go to the garden, compost. What I do is when I make stocks, this goes back into the pot when I make stocks. You get color out of here, and there is flavor that you get out of here that goes into the stock. And that nice, rich brown color comes from here. So don't waste that. Okay, now, for your onion, we're gonna do some fried onions. So you got your knife, and I've given you a big knife and a small knife, but I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like for today's purposes, maybe the smaller knife's gonna work better. Let's talk about the anatomy of an onion.
Of the onion, back in the day.
Onions are like people. There are layers to them, okay? All right? So use those layers, and the layers are actually pretty great because that means when you slice once, you'll actually get all the different separate layers that actually break up. So one slice gives you like 8 or 6 little onion rings or pieces. So we're gonna use that. So first thing, we got the tail, which is the root that actually sits in the bottom, and then we got the top, which I cut off already. I never cut the bottom off because this actually holds those layers together. As soon as you cut it off, you'll see the onions will start breaking apart pretty easily. So what you're gonna do is top down, let the tail face you.
Yep.
And then you're gonna get your knife, and you're gonna go straight down the middle, boom.
Darren,
Watch your fingers.
Darren, I'm so happy that
Okay,
you
good,
asked
he's got
these
it.
questions because we're learning so much about onions today, also learning how to cut them. So thank you so much for asking these questions. Okay, so we've done that,
It's a very good question. Onions are the most, I feel they're so versatile. You use them a lot. I mean, to be honest with you, you can't make a stew without it. You can't make a curry without it. There are some religions that don't believe in, no, they don't believe, they practice not eating onions, garlic, and those things. And I'm not that person. Put onions in everything. Okay, so here's the thing. We're gonna start off by working. You wanna do some, let's just talk about browning onions for like a stew, for instance, okay? So what I do is I take the tail off. Now I can take the tail off. We were taught in chef school, you always, if you look at the top, we had the top and the tail at the one end. We were taught you cut from the top to the tail. Over experience, cooking so much, I've actually learned, and I've learned this from the aunties that make curries. Instead of doing it like that, turn it around, and we're gonna go the other way. We're gonna go from the round side to the round side. The reason for that is when you put those onions into a stew, kids, this is for you. Kids don't like seeing onions. Weird, I know. If you cut it this way, the onions just dissolve into your food, disappears. So let's do that one first. Okay, so first things first, you know the technique, right? Tiger claw. Gonna do tiger claw, and you can get a grip in it, and your fingertips should always be tucked away.
Darren hasn't spoken one. He's just trying to absorb.
Yes, I am.
Give it to me, feed me.
That. Okay, so fingers tucked in, you got your knife. We're gonna cut thin slices of it. You don't have to do thin. You can do thick if you want as well. And as you're slicing, You're just gently moving your hand back every time. Okay, so you got these slices. Now, you can keep on slicing, by the way. You're doing a great job. Jamie, you too. Pan.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Pan is on the heat. I'm going to add some oil to the pan. We're actually going to use this to make an onion marmalade, I think. That's the best one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's when the primary ingredient is the onions, and you want to show it respect because that's the main flavor.
Yeah.
Olive oil goes in, a little bit of butter, okay? And my rule, and like I swear, like this, I'm going to get a T-shirt made. When you put onions into a pot, a pan, doesn't matter, you always add Baileys, okay? Baileys go in. So.
For anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Baileys are just like, I cannot get enough of it. Baileys are amazing. So you get that in there. First thing to note is, this is actually too hot. You don't want to hear that sizzle like that. You want it to be a lot softer. Like I said, we want to soften the onions. We want to work with the sugars that are in the onions. And to do that, we have to have a nice low heat. We want the sugars to slowly come out. You don't want to burn them. So another thing that happens is the onions soften better that way as well. If you want to help that softening process, salt. Salt draws moisture out of things, so it's going to work really well for this recipe. The chunky slices of onion, perfectly fine. Onion marmalade is quite nice when you have a few thinner pieces, larger pieces, so that's perfectly fine. Get that in there. Jamie, can I get yours?
Yes, coming over.
Okay, pop that in for me.
Walking.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're all working this together. Yeah?
We are. They normally say many cooks spoil the broth, but not today, Okay, onions go in. When the salt goes over the onions, give it a stir, and keep an eye on that heat. You want it to be nice and low. This is the heat you're going to cook on the whole time. You want to slowly release those sugars in there and start softening it. Another tip, get some baking paper. If you don't have a lid, you don't want to put a lid on this, okay? You want some of the moisture to come out. Get a piece of baking paper and put that on top. The steam will still keep on coming out, moisture will evaporate, but you're creating enough heat on the top so the onions will soften faster. Okay, so we're gonna keep on going through. Once the onions are soft, and don't rush this, it'll take half an hour even. You gotta be slow with the onions. Once you get to the point where it's nice and softened, then you go in with a little bit of balsamic. So again, guys, remember at home, this is not, we only add balsamic when it's like half an hour in, okay? That goes in there, a little bit of sugar.
So you're adding sugar? But not too much, right?
Sugar.
Because there's already sugar in the onions.
You don't need a lot. Onion marmalade, caramelized onions, you don't need sugar. Onion marmalade is when you actually add a bit of sugar to it. Let that all cook together nice and slowly. What you're going to end up with, and I'm telling you, it's magic, you're going to end up with a jammy onion like that, okay? That is amazing on, like, toasted cheese. Like, you can just use it for, like, endless amount of things. It's delicious. This is how you start off your onions for any curry, stew, whatever you're using, just minus the balsamic and the sugar.
Yeah.
Nice and slow is the trick for when you're cooking onions. That's the rule. And don't forget, this is for you. You take this home.
Take that home?
You take that home.
That is your gift. But we are not going to say goodbye to you because you have more kitchen conundrums for Chef Clem. So this is how you make your onions. You'll never have burnt onions ever again in your life. If you want to get your hands on this recipe, expressoshow.com. But of course, we're coming back with more Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting!
In just a few.
Yum! Oh, delicious stuff. The onion shall never be the same again. The culinary team, they'll be back with more culinary conundrums in just a moment. Right now, though, we want to talk to you about some amazing rewards and benefits when you choose to experience Red and then, through that, to unlock more with Vodacom's pretty amazing Red plan.
Yeah, we've been talking to you about this all week and all month, and here's another reminder to get in on the action. Now, if you switch to Red between the 7th of Feb and the 6th of March, you're going to unlock a free rugby jersey. And take a look at this.
You can also get the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE 5G for just $1,299 over 24 months. And that's on the 10 gig Red Core More Data plan.
That's not a bad deal if you consider the fact that you're literally getting an entire company in the palm.
Oh, no, for sure. Look, we've been lucky enough to assess the S21 and obviously the S22 now as well, which I'll touch on in a moment. But the S21 is what I use. Absolutely amazing device. I love the accessibility of the price, access to data, but it allows you to unlock a whole lot more. But the excitement doesn't end there because obviously there's a lot of excitement around the S22.
Of course there is. Now listen to this, Mzansi. If you pre-order the Galaxy Galaxy S22 or S22 Plus now with Vodacom, you will receive a free offer, and that's the opportunity to get the Samsung Galaxy Buds Live, valued at 2,999.
You don't understand. So my life has been like half complete because I lost while I was trail running, lost one of my buds.
Oh no, man!
And do you know how many times I've got back to that route
to go find
to
them?
go and look?
But dude, they're so stealthy though. You forget they're in your ears sometimes. I remember even doing a job on the show with it, where we're doing a live crossing in Joburg. Lena phones me up. I have my buds in my ear. No one knew a thing. You know, I'm just getting like
talking on
I'm just getting plugged all the information. They're so stealthy and so cool.
That
I think
sound cancelling technology.
Yeah, man. It's such a good deal. Of course, Mzansi, you want to get involved in this one.
And of course, I've been going gaga over the opportunity to win a free United Championship Rugby jersey. And if you want to know how, this is how you do it. So we asked you guys on social media what you love most about the new Samsung Galaxy S22, and we gave you a host of unbelievable options there. So let's take a look at some of the comments that we received.
Yeah, Mandla Kazi Wekukala says, content creation is important to me. So the feature I love in the Samsung Galaxy S22 has to do with the 50 megapixel wide camera, the 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and the 10 megapixel telephoto features.
You can shoot a feature film on that,
Literally,
baby. Like, literally, you got it. Then it's Melissa Patha who says the nightography feature, slim, sleek design, and 50 megapixel wide camera. I don't know why we have to keep saying 50.
It's a lot of megapixels, man. You can zoom in that thing for days. Now, Given Beloy also came through with an incredible comment. He says the camera quality and, of course, how updated the features are. They really are. It's become such a seamless transition into the new features, the new system, obviously, coming from Android. And you just like everything's at your fingertips, man.
It really feels like, and I say this every time, but a quantum leap forward, and they've done it again, and you can have access to that. Some incredible features, some great comments, so thank you so much for those. Remember, you've got to tune in on Friday to find out if you are the lucky winner of that United Rugby jersey, or United Championship Rugby jersey. Looks absolutely awesome.
Now, Vodacom and Expresso want you to obviously experience all these incredible unlocks for you, and it's for free. Now, Vodacom's United Championship Rugby jersey is on offer. That's for you to unlock, and you simply got to do the following. Reply to the competition post. It's on Expresso's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram page, and simply tell us what you love most about the new Galaxy S22. The Samsung Galaxy S22 is waiting for you. Don't forget to use the hashtag #ExperienceRed, unlock more, and of course, the competition closes Thursday, the 3rd of March, 2022, and that's at 10 a.m. Terms and conditions can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's ticking. Get on it.
Get in it.
Switch to Red and unlock a free rugby jersey. Get this great Samsung deal for only 1,299 Rand per month. Further together. Vodacom.
Oh, you can make my day.
Simple as CBD should be.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, Welcome back, everybody. You're still live here on your Feel Good Breakfast show on S3. I have one question for you, Mzansi. Are you ready? Are you ready to upstyle your home? Well, if you said yes, 3 lucky viewers stand a chance to win a game vouchers to the value of 25,000 Rand. Yes, you heard correctly, for a room improvement of your own. Can you imagine?
It's big, it's massive, and it's what you want to really get involved with. Now, all you have to do to enter is to post a photo of the space that you want to revamp on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter competition post. Then remember to include that hashtag #GotGame in your entry. This competition, though, runs until the 22nd of March, so you want to make sure that you get your entries through. Those T's and C's, they do apply.
And you know what they say, change is as good as a room improvement. So
they do say that.
Inspire your entry. We're giving you our room improvement tip of the day when it comes to your lounge.
The lounge is important, right? It's important to remember that, you know, you want to bring in accessories and elements that really do reflect and highlight your personality, and they give your lounge that personal touch. Like, you know, like this, for example, would be like a personal touch for somebody very like expressive and bright and dynamic, you know?
For sure. Yeah. Listen to Mr. Tabisa over here. Yeah. Change your CV, sir. Well, Game has got you covered with a nesting 3-table set, proving that 3 is better than 1. Oh, yes, indeed. Now, style meets functionality with this set that is perfect for curating small pieces and small spaces. Beautiful.
And how's this, all right? So here's another tip. Maybe you can even add like an A-frame shelf, and they've got it at Game. Add it to your lounge, you know, to display your books in the most beautiful way. Candles, photos, flowers, plants, if you're a plant mom or a plant dad. Because the thing is, no matter how big or small your space is, accessories, they're going to play an important role in the persona of a room. So make sure that that can come through.
And I love that minimalistic approach.
Just like asymmetrical.
Clean,
I love it.
clean. I get this as well. The store opening hours are Monday to Friday from 9 to 6, Saturday from 9 to 5, as well as Sunday and public holidays from 9 to 4. So you can shop these items in store. What are you sleeping on? What are you waiting for?
And there's so much inspiration. So go in store, go online at a Game store. Really, it'll open your world up to a whole lot more than what you can imagine. Don't forget to enter to stand the chance of winning yourself that room improvement of your own. Question is now, what are you waiting for?
Nothing. Going there.
All right, love that, man. New items for a new room or a new looking room sounds great. But how about a new whip, baby?
Yeah, man. That sounds good.
So whether you are a car person or just a person who needs an actual car, we all have that dream car. But what happens when that dream car comes with a hefty price tag? It's time to find out in another round of Would You Rather? Dun, dun, dun. So the scenario is, it's time to buy a new car, but your dream car is slightly, or in my case, way out of your budget. Would you rather buy a second-hand, older version of your dream car, or buy a different car that's new and cheaper? Ooh, so let's see.
I'm interested to hear your answer, because I know you've been eyeing that Audi.
Buddy, but no, this has ruined my plan forever. Just like Sia moving to the Sharks has ruined rugby for me. So I got to drive, obviously, the RS, the e-tron RS. And I've driven race cars on a racetrack. I've driven very fast in very fast cars. This is hands down the fastest thing that I've ever driven. And it's it's crazy. It got me so nervous because it's just so unbelievable. I'm reckon probably 0 to 200 in under 5 seconds. Like, that's what I'm thinking. And it might just be how I felt it, but it's beyond my reach. So what do? Do I get an older version of it? Possibly. I now love the performance elements of it, but it's 3 years off, so now I've created a 3-year budget plan to get to that point. What's your thoughts?
Look, for me, I'm all about practicality. I turned in the life of speed and pizzazz, and I've gone for functionality. So I want big cars that can take me to adventurous places. Yeah. I don't mind how it looks as long as it does the job. So I'm going to go second-hand. But I want to ask the rest of the crew,
I doubt I'll ever buy a new
because
car,
I know Tabiso likes nice things, and so does Jamie. I wonder what their thoughts are. Guys, what do you reckon?
New or second-hand?
Jamie, what would you do?
New. Because here's the thing, I don't know how to change a tire. So if the car breaks down, I wouldn't know how to fix a second-hand car. What if it is bought from Uncle?
The thing is, a new car might need a tire change.
No, but then I can go back to the dealership. Now I buy a second-hand car from Uncle Farid in the retreat, and then he sells me the car that I don't know how to use. So that's my
I'm going to teach you how to change tires so that no matter if you buy a new car or a second-hand, they're going to come in handy. I would buy a second-hand car of my dream car.
Yeah.
I would, absolutely, totally.
What is your dream car?
What is your dream car?
And I don't have a very... Oh, no, a Porsche Boxster S.
Oh, okay.
A convertible.
A convertible. I can see you in it.
You know?
I see it.
Yeah, I like that. Also, by the way, the uncle in your cheat might sell nice cars. Don't listen to Jamie, okay?
Yeah, I know. There might be a Porsche Boxster just waiting there, my friend. But of course, you guys weighed in online, and we'd love to hear some actual wise commentary on this space. So let's take a look at some of the comments that you put in. Lindiwe and Glover said, I'd definitely buy a new one, which is cheaper, while saving up for my dream car in the process. That's the vibe. That's the vibe. I get it.
Samantha Chetty coming through saying B as well. All right, just B. Okay, it's plain and simple. I like that. And then we've got a couple more answers. Lucy Ramlakan says B as well. Okay, so different
Ashton?
car.
Yeah,
That's,
different car.
A little bit
That's new
cheaper
and
as well.
cheaper.
I like the fact that you're still getting a little bit of all the good stuff that you want and still working towards it. So that kind of makes sense. It's a hybrid approach. I like it.
La Rochelle going with B as well there. I think we've split the people. I suppose it's quite a nuanced thing. It's a difficult thing. Maybe you've swayed me. Maybe I've got to go with an older version RS.
You're going to look good in it, though.
I know, man.
Come on.
But it's electric, man. It's just, it's the future. It's crazy, man. Well, you can let us know how you feel. Keep those comments coming. Such an interesting question. Maybe you're caught in that moment right now. But whether you happen to be in the market for a new car, then you might just lose your mind, because Avo, the app by Nedbank, is giving you the chance, get this, of winning one of 4. Look at that. Brand spanking new Suzuki Swifts.
Yeah, that's all you got to do to enter. It's so simple. Sign up for the Avo app, number 1. Now, it's a free app, so it doesn't even have to cost you a cent. And then you want to cross your lucky fingers, because signing up for the Avo app is so worth it, because you sell everything on there. You can sell things from tech, groceries, home decor, you name it. So get on there right now and you can win yourself some new wheels. As simple as that. It's never been easier. And for all the T's and C's, obviously, you can go visit nedbank.co.za. So without any more waffling about on new cars, all I'm going to say to you is good luck.
Don't just buy. Look out for specials. Do you want a bank that takes your money, or a bank that takes your money choices seriously? Join Nedbank today.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's Wednesdays. You know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Oh, I'm still going.
Yeah, keep going. Keep it going. For Darren Claessens from Manning. Darren, have you ever woken up like this in the morning with everyone shouting your name? Darren, Darren. It's the first, eh? It's the first, okay. So Chef Clem is here, obviously, to answer all your kitchen conundrums. I know you had questions about the onions. He's seen to that, but now you have another one. Ask it to him. Ask it to him. He's right here.
When I make acne, And then it's soggy. It's paperig. And
then it becomes an acne. When your acne becomes too soggy, it becomes an acne. I like that.
No, I make acne, not acne. I want to know how to make that, like the rice lekker, man.
Well done, because that's rice for me is a very tricky thing to cook. I mean, it's mind-blowing how many different types of rice that you get and the different methods of cooking them, and it can be very intimidating. So, acne, got you. Okay, first thing is these onions are making me emotional, but you had a trick.
Oh my word, oh my word.
Here's your bowl, here's your bowl.
So, guys, I don't know if you know this, but you should actually put water. Here we go, we're gonna fill this up. Whenever, and Darren, this is for you as well, because you burnt your onions early on, but put water in a bowl. So every day, why are you laughing?
What did you say, you burnt these onions?
Early on you were speaking.
Oh, this is the pasta, bring up this
Because I was not going to make questions.
You there now, Darren, you there. Yeah, he's Mr. Quiet, eh? Now, listen, next time you make, for the whole community of Manenberg, you take a bowl out, right? You add water in it, and then when you're cutting your onions, this helps that you don't cry. So just put it there. Afterwards, you can put your onions in there, but the main point of this is to help prevent crying.
So it just stands on the side?
It's just chilling there. It's slumming easy. Okay?
I wonder why.
Did you know that?
No, I did not.
You're welcome.
Pretty cool.
Zanzi, you're welcome. It works for me. Hopefully it works for you at home. Let me know if it actually works for you at home. Maybe it's just something that I grew up with and now I think it actually does work, but I never cry when making my onions.
There's nothing wrong with crying. Just, you know what? Sometimes cutting onions is a good opportunity just to let it out. And if anybody says what's wrong, you should be like, oh, I'm cutting onions. But deep down, you're thinking about that grade 1 day when you thought you had tuck shop money, you put it in the pocket and you pull out and it was like, dololo. It's fine. It's okay. Let it out. Let it out. Let it out.
We invited everyone for supper making acne, and then your acne was like paparach like that, and you were crying.
Whoa.
So maybe that's why.
And you know, they won't say anything to you. They'll just all eat it and quietly look at each other like...
But there's one person that's going to say, nee, was hier so
That's that one auntie. Okay, all right. So what we're doing is we're starting off by cooking our onions, and again, bay leaves are in here.
Where's the bay leaves? We gave you bay leaves early on. Where's the bay leaves?
It's in my bag.
Okay.
Okay, onions got some salt in it, and it's now slowly cooking. When it comes to curries and when it comes to stews, like I said earlier, you want your onions to be nice and soft, and you want it to have color. That adds sweetness to your dish as well. So I know we've got these onions and they're soft. I would cook this for another 10 minutes to let some of that color come out. But because time, we're gonna fast forward. I'm gonna ask you to work on our marinade for our chicken. Now this is not the full, very traditional way of making acne. I'm giving you a nice way to get you started on it, and the more confidence you have with it, you can then adapt it and like take it to that professional level. So in front of you, we've got some spices. I'm gonna ask you to combine the spices into your bowl over here. Turmeric, paprika, cayenne, masala, cumin, coriander, that's all going in. You can add there. You can add it to the thing. I've got cardamom as well, that's gonna go in there. Star anise and cinnamon. The star anise and cinnamon I'll actually keep aside. I'll actually add that in a little bit. So I prefer using boneless chicken thighs because they stay moist longer and they don't dry out like chicken breast does. You get a nice texture out of it. If you can marinate your chicken overnight, it'll make such a huge difference. It's worth the preparation to actually do it the day before. You're doing an amazing thing there. So get your spices in. I've got to keep an eye on my onions so we don't burn them. Turn down the heat. Okay, that's looking good. So like I said, I prefer using the boneless thighs, but today we're gonna use the bone in on the thighs. At home, if you have breasts, use it. Totally fine. Okay, that's looking good. You can now add your buttermilk to that. Okay, your buttermilk. In Afrikaans, I actually know this one. Karringmelk.
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 Karringmelk nie. Het jy gehoor al van karringmelk?
Ik moet dan koeienmelk.
Now I'm nervous. Now I'm like, is it true? It is true. I got a nod from the back. Someone says yes, it is. Okay, cool. So buttermilk goes in, and now you're gonna add your chicken to there. The one thing that's very, very important when it comes to curries, more than any other type of stew or anything, salt. You can't, it doesn't matter what spice blend you have. You can have the best spice blend in the world. If you don't have enough salt in there, you're gonna taste
bland. It's gonna be bland.
Nothing. So that's gonna go in there. I've got salt and onions ready. You can add your chicken to that for me, please.
Chef Clem, do you make little slices in the chicken? Because I've seen this quite often. People's actually like cutting.
Yeah. And you know why, right? Why? Because obviously, as you cut it open, it creates more space for the #1, the spices to get in. Plus, it'll cook quicker. So cutting a chicken, absolutely. And you'll see that often at restaurants or at takeaway places where speed and time is like essential. At home, you've got more time, so you don't need to. If you want it to look authentic, like you've just like, you know, like street food vibes, definitely cut into it. It'll look good. You can get that a mix for me, get that in there.
You want to show off for the people that manage.
You want to show off.
No, I am going to show off.
You must.
For everyone.
You must.
One for me, one for you, one for Chef Clem.
Yeah.
Don't be stingy with the chicken. Don't be stingy with the chicken. There we go. You're doing a good job, Darren.
Thank you.
You're doing a very good job. Another thing is oil, okay? So people are very scared about using oil, and again, with a curry, it's quite important. Oil doesn't only help things fry. Oil actually absorbs the flavor, and the oil will take on the flavor of the spices and everything else you're using in your curry. So make sure you got a decent amount of oil, not so much that your curry's swimming in it, but you want to have a fair amount of oil in there.
But if I throw a lot of oil in and it's so much on top, what can I use to...
I love these questions. Okay, someone's taken my paper towel now. If you make a curry, okay, and you've noticed it's too oily, especially if you make something like a biryani or a curry, I always suggest making it the day before because it just tastes so much better the next day. Also, when you chill your curry down, a lot of that oil's going to come to the top. And if it's too much for you, what you can do is you can actually take a big spoon and try and scoop off the top, or take paper towel, lay the paper towel down on the top, and that's going to absorb all the oil. Then you just take the paper towel off, don't throw it away. You know what you do with it? Use it as fire starters.
Oh.
And you know what? Because the oil's got all those flavors, you're going to light it just to start your fire, and it's going to smell so good. So don't waste it. I like that question. And that trick works with not only your curries, but anything else that you make that has a lot of oil on the fat. If you have a dish that's got a lot of beef fat, for instance, on the top that comes to the surface, if you chill it in the fridge, the beef fat will actually solidify, and you can just take it off. So I like that question. It's a very good one. Okay, we're supposed to be cooking, but I'm loving it.
We have 30 seconds left. 30 seconds. Acne in 30 seconds.
Okay, so imagine this is now marinated overnight. We're going to hit it with some tomato paste. Now we're going to go. Tomato paste going into your pot first.
Fast food.
Fast. Okay, then we got chili. You like chili?
Yeah.
Okay, this is like a starter portion of chili. We normally go crazy with the chili. That goes in, more bay leaves go in, the star anise, cinnamon goes in. Next, we've got the chicken right over here, and we're gonna fry that all together, okay? For the rice, what I've done is I've soaked the rice a little bit before the time, and then I let it just dry out. And it actually dries out perfectly. When you soak the rice, it kind of gives it a head start when it starts cooking. So mix it all together. Give this like 10 minutes. You'll see the color's gonna start changing. You're gonna get that nice intense color. Then, with your rice, what you're gonna do... Oh, I got more chicken.
Got more, yes.
More.
Why
Okay.
are you and Darren so stingy this morning? Like,
No.
Let's feed the masses.
No. So take your rice. Again, I soaked it and I let it dry on its own. If it's still soggy after you soaked it, perfect, doesn't matter. Pour that over the top, okay? And there's gonna be enough moisture because I soaked the rice in the rice, and it's gonna start absorbing the moisture from the actual curry. I'm not gonna add more water unless I can hear the pot's got like a crackling sound at the bottom. That means it's running dry. That's gonna add like a quarter cup of water at a time. That's all you need. And you cook it with the lid on. You use the steam and the moisture inside the pot, so you're not adding extra liquid all the time. That's going to cause your rice to be soggy. It's going to cause your acne to be soggy. And what do we call an acne when it's soggy?
Acne.
Acne. Okay, you do that. You follow those steps. Finish it off with some crispy onions over the top.
When you add in your potatoes before we...
Goodness, you add your potatoes with your chicken. Got it. Because actually, I don't do my acne with potatoes. I actually crispy fry my potatoes and serve it separately with my acne. Sorry, that's why I didn't add it now. Try that at home. It works so well. But the potatoes go in with the chicken if you're doing it that way. Guys, how much time do we have left?
We don't have any time.
Okay, lid goes on. It cooks and it steams. You let it rest for a little bit to let the final bit of moisture get absorbed. You put it on a plate. Call all your friends from Mannerburg. Serve it with some coriander, extra chili on the side. Everybody's going to be happy. I'm telling you, they're going to cry. Not because of the onions, they're going to cry because they love it so much.
Darren, you have been great. Chef Clem, always amazing. Unfortunately, all the time we have for the Culinary Hotline. Do you have any culinary conundrums or want to share any kitchen tips? Hit us up on social media, Expresso Morning Show on S3. That is how you do a Wednesday here on your Feel Good Breakfast.
Give it up for Darren, give it up for Darren, give it up for Darren! Woo!
Beautiful stuff.
To start some new relationships.
Yeah, man. Look, after all of that positivity, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be that guy who drives a stake between you and someone that you've loved for so long. But it's time to break up. And your lounge suite.
Yeah, when that time comes, it comes. Honestly, divorce your couch. You deserve better than outdated lounge suites and couches that just don't stand up for you.
Exactly.
You deserve Gama, gama.
Gama, gama, got your back, man.
I love it. Listen, so we asked you to tell us why you need to break up with your old couch, clearly. And we have the opportunity to take a look at some of the incredible comments that we absolutely received. We had fun with this. You guys were awesome. But Salvia Odian is one of them that says, I need to break up with my lounge suite. When I sit down to watch Expresso morning show, I cannot get back up. The cushions are all worn out. It just breaks my heart.
Ah, that's a toxic relationship, man. It's toxic.
Is she physically stuck in the couch, or do you think she's just like really...
It holds her back.
Yeah,
it holds her back.
She might be a little bit lazy as well. Fanaz Talib saying, I have never had a brand new couch. Never, ever. I inherited my current couch, which I grew up with, and now my kids are growing up with it as well. I really need a new couch.
Fanaz, man, I must just say, we've had the opportunity to sit on this new couch. You deserve this feeling. You deserve that fresh... smell of that fabric, you know, that just oozing into the couch, supporting the lumbar, looking like you're sitting on a throne. You deserve that.
You deserve the arrogant tilt. I can, but I don't want to.
There we go. So here's the thing, okay? Go and follow Goma Goma on their Instagram page. It's at Goma_SA and Facebook page Goma Goma to find out more about their various top quality lounge suites on offer that you're really going to want to have in your house. This is the type of couch you want to introduce your family to.
And they're good enough that your kids will then keep them for their whole life and pass them down to their children.
A new cycle.
It's generational wealth. That's what we're all about.
Let's try to get off the couch now.
No, can't do it.
Staying here.
Cheers.
Upstyle your home with Expresso. As 3 lucky viewers like you stand a chance to win game vouchers to the value of 25,000 Rand for a room improvement of your very own.
To enter, all you have to do is post a photo of the space you want to revamp on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter competition post, and remember to use the hashtag #GotGame in your entry.
The competition is closing on the 22nd of March 2022, and all the terms and conditions apply. Good luck.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the final few minutes here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we're still hanging out with the talented 12-year-old Sade Phyllis. Speaking about talented, we asked you on social media today, if talent is something you do so well, what would you be good at? So we wanted to find out by you on social media, and of course, you came through with all of the answers. So that being said, Shireen Abrams, one of our top fans, says, wow, he is super talented. I love his performance. People people love you. People actually love you. Najwa Ishmael Slamang says, morning, you are famous, my boy. This kid is really making my day. Bruno Mars, listen to this kid. I mean, Bruno Mars could be watching right now and he could be listening to you singing his rendition of Talking to the Moon. Okay, we have more comments that came through. People are loving you on social media. Shayna Jacobs. Lorraine Ment was saying, thank you for bringing him back, Expresso, hailing the young man and his God's talented voice. Just a piano and his voice is all that is needed. Couldn't agree more. And the Lemoria Wilderman also says, such a talented young man, may he prosper in his singing. Yes. And then we also have Shayna Jacobs saying, the young Sade is on fire, beautiful, flame emojis, keep that coming, because we want to say, do you actually realize how talented you are? Because I'm sure people stop you every single time you go to the shop, when you're walking around in your community. Do people actually stop you?
Yes.
And then what do they say?
And they say, "Ow, Expresso."
And what people don't know is that you actually did your first live musical concert this weekend at It's a Love Thing, the musical festival. 2,000 people were screaming your name. What did that feel like?
It felt great. Very great.
Do you want to do more of that?
Yes.
Manifest more of that, more musical festivals, more carnivals. Watch out for this beautiful young boy. But right now, it's time for your final performance. Sade is also part of the Old Apostolic Church in Sarepta, and he's definitely taking us to church with this next cover. He has wowed us with his first performances, and this one will be no different. This is his version of Worthy is the Lamb by Michael W. Smith. Sade?
Take it away, boy!
come on. Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Come on, there is
man.
not a dry eye in studio right now. That was an emotional performance. Give him a round of applause. Don't forget that name, Sade, 12 years old. You know what? We still have a few minutes left of the show, and otherwise the boys are just going to talk nonsense. Can you do another performance for us? Okay, so you're going to do Bruno Mars talking to the moon again. Okay, this time Bruno Mars is actually watching. He just called us now to say that he is going to watch now. Okay, so Bruno Mars talking to the moon. You're going to do it one more time for us?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to be your backup singers, but like way back over here. So you can start. I'm going to stand right here.
I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you back. I want you back. My neighbors think I'm crazy, but they don't understand. You're all I had. You're all I had. At night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself, talking to the moon, trying to get to you. In hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. All am I wrong? Who sits alone, talking to the moon? Oh, I'm feeling like I'm famous, the talk of the town. They say I've gone mad. Yeah, I've gone mad. But they don't know what I know. 'Cause when the sun goes down, someone's talking back. Yeah, they're talking back. Oh, at night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself, talking to the moon, trying to get to you. In hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. All am I wrong? Who sits alone, talking to the moon?
This month, say it with flavor, taste, and aroma, so they'll know it was made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.